This guy lives in a world where your color determines your entire worth, which is why the legendary colorists hold all the power. They are basically royalty here. The brilliant colors radiating from their bodies prove their ultimate status. Normal citizens look up to them like literal gods, worshipping the very ground they walk on. Everyone believes that as long as these colorists are around, the City of Light will stay completely safe. But just a few blocks away, things look way different. Over on the Street of Darkness, Kay is getting treated like absolute garbage. Even though he literally risked his life to harvest rare ink from the dangerous Black Land. He just wanted a shot at joining the explorers. But they just laugh in his face. Do we really have to spell it out, loser? You are completely colorless. The explorers look at him with pure disgust. Everyone is born with a preset destiny, but occasionally we get some trash that does not know its place. And right now, Kay is that exact piece of trash. A total zero in everyone else's eyes. They do not just reject him, they beat him down to show off their superior status. Listen up, you worthless, colorless piece of trash. Only the chosen elites like us get to be explorers. Weaklings like you would not survive a single second out in the Black Land. Outside the city walls is a pitch-black void where you cannot see an inch ahead, and crawling in that darkness are deadly creatures. Monstrous beasts lurk everywhere, and the explorers are the brave souls risking their necks to gather resources and treasures from those terrifying depths. They sacrifice themselves for humanity, and the people treat them like absolute heroes. Honestly, all that hype just goes straight to their heads. Just because they have a little power, they treat everyone else like dirt, especially colorless outcasts like Kay. They tell him to act his class. Get your colorless face out of our sight, and if you annoy us again, you are dead. And with that threat, they kick him out. They slam the door right in his face. That heavy thud feels like a brutal slap to whatever pride he had left. As Kay sits there in despair, a tiny black cat pokes its head out from his shirt. Do not worry, Nero, he whispers. There are plenty of other places to try, and I am used to this anyway. He gently comforts his little buddy despite feeling crushed. Deep down, Kay refuses to give up his dream of becoming the greatest colorist ever. Nero nuzzles him, making sure his master is okay. The little cat sneaks back into his shirt, and the duo heads off, desperately hoping someone, anywhere, will finally give them a chance. But Kay has no idea that from a second-story window, a mysterious figure is watching his every move with a strange, unreadable look. Inside Kay's notebook, countless guild names are scribbled down and aggressively crossed out a depressing record of every single rejection he has faced. Today was another total dead end, leaving him with no choice but to head back home. Marine, I am back, he calls out. Waiting inside is a beautiful girl who is also completely colorless, just like him. Kay, hurry inside, she says. Why the long face? Did you fail again? She asks. Nero jumps right into Marine's arms, and she looks totally furious on Kay's behalf. It makes her blood boil seeing him get rejected when he is easily stronger than those low-tier explorers. But they do not accept colorless people. Kay sighs deeply. Marine reminds him he successfully brought back items from the Black Land, proving his skill, but he just credits Nero's help. With another sigh, he places his newly found ink jar on the table. Marine's eyes light up instantly because her shop has been desperately running low. Ink shortages are a massive deal, which is why the city is trying to recruit more explorers. Their entire survival literally depends on ink. Yet, even with Kay willing to do any dirty work, no team will take him. Marine suddenly asks if he thought about her suggestion. When Kay hesitates, she reaches under the table and slams a flyer right in front of him. Talk about intense. You have to try everything, she insists. This is your best shot. But there is a huge reason why Kay is so hesitant about this. The flyer is a recruitment call for an S-rank exploration guild. If even trash-tier teams rejected him, how could he possibly join them? But watch how Marine handles this. She pushes him forward, reminding him this specific S-rank group actually values pure talent over family lineage. This team values skill over background, which makes Kay actually want to try. Ever since he was a kid, he dreamed of becoming a legendary colorist. Marine has always backed him up, no matter what. Feeling that absolute, unconditional trust from his best friend, Kay gets a massive burst of motivation. He makes his decision in a heartbeat. Grabbing the flyer for the Dawn Exploration team, he rushes out of Marine's shop because the deadline is almost up. Kay needs to hurry and prepare. But as he is planning his next move, Nero suddenly growls. The little cat is seriously on edge inside his shirt. "What is wrong, Nero?" he asks, completely unaware of a shadowy figure creeping up behind him. Before Kay can even react, the stalker launches a sudden, brutal surprise attack. It is too fast for him to dodge. Turns out, this attacker is the exact same guy who was secretly watching him get thrown out of the Exploration Guild earlier. Seeing Kay collapse face first onto the dirt, the thug and his partner burst out laughing. "Look at this worthless, colorless trash. He will be dead soon anyway. Nobody cares if a colorless nobody goes missing." As Kay's vision fades, he sees Nero crawling toward him, crying. He desperately wants to tell his pet to run, but his body has zero strength left. After who knows how long, Kay groggily wakes up to someone choking him, lifting him completely off the ground by his collar. "Oh, you are awake," his attacker sneers. "Too bad I have to toss you over now since you are somehow still breathing." It is the same thug from before. Kay is dangling right over a pool of toxic ink waste, a deadly sludge formed when all ink colors mix together, which is fatal to humans. If you fall in there, you dissolve into absolutely nothing. Honestly, there is no better spot in this entire city to make a dead body vanish. Kay is suffering, totally clueless about who this psycho is or why he is attacking him. To this jerk, Kay is pretty much dead already anyway, so the guy plays nice and drops the real reason. Turns out, he has been watching Kay since earlier, or rather, he wanted Nero. A smart monster tagging along with a human is insanely rare. And now, these scumbags have already stuffed poor Nero right into a metal cage. "Give him back, you bastard!" Seeing Nero locked up, Kay thrashes wildly, trying to fight, but the jerk just mocks him, calling him a useless, colorless nobody. He just laughs in Kay's face. This rare beast is going straight to the black market, and it is going to bring in some serious cash. Leaving something this valuable to a colorless loser is a waste. The guy sneers, choking Kay even harder, until Kay feels his vision going black from lack of air. He struggles with everything he has got, but he cannot change a thing. Kay hates himself for letting his guard down in this sketchy shadow street. Sure, people always look down on him for being colorless. But using that stupid excuse to kidnap Nero? Absolutely not. Nero is off limits. Nero is his only family. Right here, his pure rage boils over as he grabs the guy's wrist, growling like a cornered wild animal. "Damn you." The jerk senses something is way off with Kay. Suddenly, he realizes his own body is starting to act incredibly weird too. It feels like something is violently draining his energy. Terrified, the guy lets go, dropping Kay straight into the toxic ink vat with a massive splash. He sighs in relief and tells his partner that the job is done. Now they are rich, so they head for the black market while Nero cries. But Nero cannot do a thing. Meanwhile, Kay sinks deeper into the toxic vat, but his mind refuses to shut down as he keeps telling himself one thing: he has to save Nero. But his body completely ignores his commands. Instead, memories of Nero and Marine flash before his eyes like a movie rewinding. Is this really the end? No way. Kay refuses to accept this. He has a promise to keep. "Hey Kay, why are you just standing there? What the hell are you doing?" Kay suddenly hears a strange voice, totally unfamiliar to his ears. But whoever it is, they keep shouting at him to wake up, to stand on his own 2 feet and do what must be done. "Are you really going to die here? Stop hesitating and save Nero right now. Take back your color." The voice carries an insane, almost physical force. An invisible power wraps around Kay, and suddenly his body is completely healed. He was just drowning in toxic ink, and now his memory is a complete blank. But that does not matter. Who owned that voice he just heard? Kay has absolutely no clue. But a tiny, muffled sound cuts his thoughts short. It is the crying of his precious companion, Nero. The cries get louder, more painful. Through the dark ink, Kay can actually make out the blurry shapes of those 2 jerks standing by the edge. They are still holding Nero in that damn cage. He snaps back to reality. Right. He has to save his friend. Gathering every ounce of his remaining energy, K launches himself upward. The two jerks above have no idea what is coming until a massive wave of energy explodes. Black energy explodes everywhere. Seriously, look at this. The ink literally vanishes in a split second, leaving those guys absolutely terrified. Something completely unknown leaps out. This shadow stands at the bottom of the vat, looking like a young man. But they cannot connect this terrifying entity with the kid they just threw down. To them, this is a straight-up monster. Before they can even blink, a massive dark arm lunges at them. The whole place gets utterly wrecked. Soon, the cops swarm the scene to get statements from one of the guys who threw K into the vat. He babbles about how the ink vanished instantly, and a gigantic hand reached out, turning the entire warehouse into a complete war zone. Naturally, this sounds completely insane. So the cops just take notes half-heartedly. Meanwhile, the actual guy who pushed K has passed out cold on a stretcher. The elite colorists have already arrived at the scene. They confirm there are only 2 victims, and both of them are members of some B-rank exploration squad. Their reputation is absolute garbage, but the team is completely baffled about what could have drained all the color from their bodies, leaving them colorless. All right. That is weird, but let us focus. Their leader speaks up. They did not come all this way just for a couple of colorless thugs. They are here because a massive monster just spawned in the city. Figuring out why those 2 guys turned colorless is a much lower priority right now. The local cop immediately gets incredibly nervous, stammering about what an honor it is. He asks why busy VIPs like them are visiting the sketchy Shadow Street. Calm down, we are only here on official orders to investigate this monster outbreak. Show us the actual scene. The cop nods like a maniac and leads them straight down to the massive ink vat where the chaos started. The 2 colorists inspect the area closely, and they can definitely feel some serious lingering monster energy. The female colorist says she knows where all the major monsters are, but one randomly spawning inside the city walls is insanely bizarre. Even if it is just the suburbs, it makes no sense. Usually, the only pests inside the city are tiny, harmless critters. She is worried this might be a new mutation, but her partner tells her to chill. Instead, they need to focus on tracking this thing down. That is going to be a huge headache since the trail is basically dead. Meanwhile, in a quiet alleyway, Kay is finally waking up to a familiar sound. Nero is desperately meowing, licking Kay's face and messy hair until he finally opens his eyes and wraps his arms around his loyal pet. "Are you hurt, buddy?" He quickly checks the little cat over from head to toe, letting out a sigh when he sees Nero is fine. Sighing in relief, Kay sees Nero is fine. But he cannot chill yet. He has zero clue what just went down. Fragmented memories flash in his head. Didn't he just dump those 2 jerks into the ink vat? But how did he do that? Where did this insane cheat code power come from? Plus, Kay realizes something huge. He actually has color now, even though everything around him is pitch black. He is completely lost in the dark. Kay calls on Nero. His black cat dashes forward, transforming into a bright beam of light. The glow lights up the area. Kay straight up freezes in shock. He is standing right inside the infamous Black Forest. This death trap is strictly for B-grade explorers. Sensing monsters closing in from all sides, Kay yells at the top of his lungs. "Nero, we gotta get out of here now." Kay runs for his life. Nero stays ahead, lighting the way and warning him of danger. That is the only reason he keeps dodging these beasts. After running for forever, Kay suddenly notices his body feels incredibly light and weightless. He sprinted a massive distance, not even winded. Honestly, he is moving way faster and feels 10 times more agile than before. This crazy energy coursing through him is both thrilling and terrifying. Then, Nero suddenly screeches and stops. "Watch out, guys, trouble is coming." A monster blindsides Kay from the shadows. He whips his head around only to see a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth literally inches from his face. Kay squeezes his eyes shut, thinking he is totally done for. Instinctively, he throws his arm up to block, and the beast chomps down hard on it. But guess what? He feels zero pain. Instead, the monster's teeth completely shatter into pieces. Like the dumb beast just tried to bite solid reinforced concrete. Terrified, the monster scrambles away. Kay stands there frozen, trying to process this insanity. His arm does not have a single scratch on it. Is this really the legendary power of color? Nero screeches again, snapping Kay back to reality. He looks ahead, on high alert. Another shadow approaches. This one is absolutely massive compared to the last guy, and Kay instantly recognizes what kind of monster he is dealing with. A cyclops. This apex predator belongs deep in the Black Forest, so why is it out here? All Kay knows is this beast is no joke. It is a total nightmare. The cyclops lands a brutal greeting blow, sending Kay flying backward. He is not dead, but that definitely hurt. The impact is nothing like that weak bite from earlier. Nero is freaking out, meowing like crazy to check if his partner is still breathing. We got wrecked in round 1. But Kay? He gets this sudden wild feeling. He can crush this monster. He finally has the color he always dreamed of, so things are different now. Besides, Kay has always been a pretty reckless risk-taker anyway. Running away is not an option. He forces himself to remember that raw sensation from the ink vat when he unleashed his inner power. To destroy those 2 trash bags, instantly, a pitch-black energy wraps around him, fueling him with crazy power and pure rage. Everything goes quiet and calm. As the Cyclops charges, Kay slides his foot back, locking into a solid defensive stance. He balls his hand into a tight fist and throws a massive punch straight at the charging beast. The exact second they collide, shockwaves rip through the entire forest. Kay literally obliterates the predator with a single punch. Mind blown yet? Because things are about to get even wilder. He opens his eyes to a stunning, vibrant world of color. But then, that dark power drains right out of him. He fades back to gray, falling straight out of the sky. Kay faceplants hard on the dirt, but he doesn't even care. Losing his color again is the absolute worst. The more power he burns, the faster his vibrant colors seem to fade away. Kay shivers. He is totally lost. No, this can't be. What are you doing? Eat. The food is right there. Eat it now. Take the color. You don't want to die, right? Just reach out your hand. Once again, that creepy voice echoes in Kay's head. It is the exact same voice from the ink vat. Fading in and out of consciousness, Kay stares at the mangled, unrecognizable corpse of the giant Cyclops. The voice keeps whispering, telling him to take it. Shaking, he reaches out his hand and touches the dead predator. Power flows into him, and even Nero looks completely shocked. Within seconds, the vibrant colors rush back into Kay's body. His strength is finally back. Cut to Marine's shop, where a mysterious guest in a heavy black cloak suddenly walks through the door. Their face is fully covered. Marine stops working and welcomes them, asking what they are looking for today, but the stranger stays dead silent. Sensing something weird, Marine tries again, asking if they need any special help. Still no answer, but the figure starts fast walking right toward her. This sketchy behavior immediately triggers her alarm bells. She is seriously freaked out now. Marine grabs a heavy wrench nearby, warning the stranger that they look extremely suspicious. Back off, or I will literally end you. Instead of stopping at her threat, the creepy guest moves even faster. He lunges forward, making her scream like crazy to back off. The guy laughs. Calm down, Marine. It is just me. After giving her a massive heart attack, the hooded guy finally stops and pulls down his mask. Yep, it is Kay, alive and well. Marine is completely dumbfounded with a million questions. She literally did not recognize him because his look has changed by a full 180 degrees. What on earth happened to you? Marine is totally blown away. Kay sits her down and starts explaining the whole crazy story, ever since he stepped out of her shop. Hearing the whole story makes Marine absolutely furious. She vows to never forgive those trash-tier bullies who jumped him. She is literally screaming about smashing those jerks with a hammer. Kay has to jump in and stop her before she makes a massive scene. Calming his crazy friend down takes some serious effort. Marine finally cools her head and sighs in relief. Honestly, she was freaking out earlier when she could not get a hold of Kay at all. Who would have thought things would turn out like this? At least he is safe and sound, though there is still the crazy mystery of how he actually survived. I mean, falling into a toxic ink waste tank, surviving, and somehow unlocking magic colors. That is some serious main character plot armor right there. But wait, it gets crazier. The color K got is black, the exact hue associated with terrifying monsters. Marine is already stressed that people are going to treat him like a complete freak. K does not really care about the bad reputation. What matters is that he finally has a shot at becoming a real colorist. He plans to put all the drama on hold, focus entirely on the upcoming Daybreak Vanguard entrance exam. Hey, thanks for getting me back on time. By the way, Marine, can I borrow some spare clothes? I promise I will bring them back in one piece. Marine just lets out this massive, exhausted sigh. Seriously, how many times has this happened? Fine. Let us just call this an investment in a future superstar colorist. She grabs Kay and drags him off because she actually has some perfect gear ready. Once he is all dressed up and good to go, it is time for him to head to the big Daybreak exam. The venue is absolutely packed with candidates, and everyone looks incredibly stressed out. No surprise there, the competition is brutal. Getting into the Vanguard is the ultimate dream for every explorer in this city. Among all the factions, the Daybreak team has the craziest record in the Blackland. They are an S-rank squad, packed with insane talent. People call them the hope of the City of Light, which is why all the heavy hitters are showing up today. A few faces in the crowd really stand out. We have got the second daughter of a prestigious noble family, some famous bounty hunters, and hotshot rookies. But the guy stealing absolutely all the spotlight? Check out that dude over there with the flashy blue hair. Yes, that is Gale. And everyone is already whispering about him. Rumor says Gale is a total monster who can solo high-level beasts. But the catch is, the guy is a complete psychopath with a massive history of violence. He got kicked out of his old guild for starting too many fights, and now he is standing right in the center of the crowd like he owns the place. Everyone is muttering about his insane power, but in Gale's eyes, the other candidates are just a bunch of weak, pathetic jokes. Honestly, he is super bored. He was hoping to fight some real S-rank beasts, but these rookies are completely underwhelming. The only person who actually catches his eye is Ellie Cian, the second daughter of that fancy noble family. She stands out. She has this wild, rebellious vibe that instantly stands out. Gale actually thinks about messing with her just to trigger a massive scene and watch everyone panic. But right as he is about to make his move, the speakers boom. Attention all candidates. The exam is officially starting now. The entrance trial for the Daybreak Vanguard is underway. Standing at the podium is an actual high-ranking colorist. Having an elite show up in person means the guild is taking this selection incredibly seriously. They are not here to play games. On top of that, this speaker is a legendary hero who basically carried the entire city during the last giant monster raid. The moment he steps up, a crushing pressure hits the room. Yeah, an S-rank team is just built completely different. He welcomes the crowd, and the entire room goes absolutely dead silent instantly. He starts by thanking everyone who had the sheer guts to show up. Whether you are here for cash, power, glory, or some noble mission, everyone has their own reasons for trying out. But honestly, your motivations do not matter. At the end of the day, only raw combat skill is going to keep you alive, and the Daybreak squad only takes the absolute best. They are looking for elite powerhouses to reclaim humanity's lost land. They need warriors ready to march straight into the terrifying Black Land. If you are just average, you do not belong in this game. With the short intro out of the way, the exam officially begins. The examiner tells everyone to just look around them. Do you see all those combat arenas set up all over the place? Yep, this entire test is a brutal, straight-up single elimination tournament. At the end of the day, an explorer's life depends on raw combat. Outside these safe walls, it is survival of the fittest. The weak get eaten alive out there. If you cannot prove your strength on this stage, you have zero chance of surviving outside. Daybreak is only keeping the survivors who claw their way through this first round. Only the strongest are moving forward. Once your number is called, get your butt up to the ring. The examiner finishes his warning and immediately barks out the first round. Candidate 126, that is Gale. His opponent is number 286, Absolute Rip. The crowd gasps and whispers about how cruel this matchmaking is. That poor bastard is dead meat. Gale just steps up looking completely chill. But inside, the guy is absolutely losing his mind with excitement. He loves this tournament style and is already planning how to torture his victim. But the moment Gale actually steps onto the ring, things get super weird. His opponent is some random dude completely covered from head to toe. The guy looks incredibly clumsy and weak. Gale is slightly curious, but honestly, he does not care. He immediately unsheathes his massive sword. He says he has been quiet for too long, and now he does not have to hold back. Gale starts swinging his sword, and it is a total masterpiece. Everyone in the crowd is completely blown away. Honestly, mastering the blade like that at his age makes him a certified genius. As for Gale, he totally looks down on his opponent, basically telling him to brace himself because failing means getting ripped to absolute shreds. With that, Gale dashes forward like a wild gust of wind, unleashing a flashy yet super sharp sword technique that oozes arrogant young energy. Too bad that massive ego gets absolutely shattered by a single punch from the dude opposite him. Guy did not even bother drawing a weapon. Just like that, he uses his bare hands to send Gale flying, leaving the entire crowd utterly speechless. The famous wind sword Gale literally blasted into a wall in one hit. Looks like he is completely knocked out with zero energy to fight back. Meanwhile, the victor calmly rolls his wrists on the stage, muttering some complaints under his breath. He grumbles about Gale scaring him with that sudden speed burst and messing up the whole place. Just then, his hood slips off. This freaks the crowd out even more because his color is pitch black, a color reserved only for monsters. Even the colorist running the exam is stunned. He raises an eyebrow in sheer disbelief, while shocked whispers start spreading like crazy all over the spectator stands. Oh my god, can a human even have that color? Is beating a legendary swordsman in one hit just the power of black? Yeah, the guy who smashed Gale is none other than K. He is just super confused about why everyone is freaking out so much. Did he somehow mess up or do something wrong? After Gale, a whole bunch of other contestants end up as K's victims, completely unable to survive against his absolutely insane god-tier strength. Their attacks literally do zero damage to him, while K just sticks to his classic one-punch signature move to wreck his opponents, effortlessly sweeping through match after match. His incredibly dominant performance quickly catches the attention of the high-ranking colorists monitoring the exams from up above. This kid looks pretty promising, easily the most outstanding rookie here. Plus, he is the first one ever to possess that bizarre black ink, and those rumors are totally going to spread fast, making this our perfect chance to recruit him first. As they gossip, sudden footsteps echo behind them, making them wonder who is there. Looks like quite a long, exhausting day, huh? The newcomers are the two colorists from the ink waste tank incident, and the exam monitors immediately show their respect. They respectfully ask Leader Red what brings him all the way out here. And if the exam is running smoothly, Red just claims he is passing by, sighing that his investigation back at the ink tank has hit a complete dead end, with absolutely zero progress. It is a massive headache, so since they are nearby, Red and his subordinate drop in to watch. They wanted to see if anyone has real potential, and Red's gaze immediately locks onto K due to his unique color. The nearby colorist speaks up with a grin. I totally knew you'd notice him first, boss. He actually went and crushed a top-tier candidate, and now he is showing off an insanely dominant performance. At this rate, we can pretty much guarantee he's passing. Red and his subordinate exchange quiet looks, both thinking the exact same thing. A brand new color suddenly appearing right after that bizarre ink tank incident? This is way too much of a coincidence, but with zero hard evidence, they decide to just keep a very close eye on K for now. As for K, after winning back-to-back matches, even he is pretty shocked by his own insane power. With this ability, K feels like becoming a colorist is totally within reach. Still, he's got to be careful not to abuse this power like last time. If he randomly loses his color again, he is literally dead meat. But K isn't the only one dominating. The Cyan family's lady is also flexing her blue color. Ellie Cyan is stacking up wins with ultimate grace and elegance, leaving all the contestants below the stage gossiping about her non-stop. The Cyan family's color is pretty unreal. Her skills are totally worthy of a high-class lady. It's honestly hard to believe. How could anyone even beat someone like her? Having just finished another match, Ellie Sion slowly steps down from the stage. Passing by Kay, she stops slightly and raises her eyebrow. Her judgmental gaze leaves him both confused and annoyed. Though neither of them utters a single word, they don't get matched up, and the first round finally ends. The host thanks everyone for their hard work, noting they are running behind schedule, so they are moving straight to the next test. The examiner politely kicks out the unfortunate losers who failed to survive the very first round. The lucky survivors don't even dare to celebrate, silently praying the next exam will be easier. But as the colorist is about to make the announcement, "Now check this out," Leader Red suddenly cuts in, loudly declaring he is personally taking over the second test. The moment he steps up, the entire room is shaken, and for good reason. Red is a literal legend, known as one of the absolute strongest colorists in the famous City of Light. He literally reclaimed the Black Land and holds the all-time record for slaying the most monsters. Rumor has it, his sheer destructive power is insanely terrifying. Even his own teammates hate working with him. Now, the rookies are terrified that under Red, they will all fail. No one will survive. The host nervously asks if he is sure, because the captain will kill them if he finds out about this unauthorized change. But Red does not care at all, since he gets yelled at daily anyway. He turns to the terrified candidates and loudly makes his bold announcement. This test is super simple. You just have to survive it. Red flashes a dangerously wicked smile, and the moment he stops speaking, a massive, terrifying wave of energy erupts directly from his body, forming solid cages that lock every single candidate inside. Red casually explains that he is recreating a brutal environment he once experienced. It is pretty hot, or to be more exact, absolutely boiling. The Black Land is filled with extreme conditions where humans can barely survive. Compared to that, the cage Red made is basically just a cozy little heater. Super simple, right? All you have to do is survive this heat and you pass. Red says it with a straight face, but adds that if they can't even handle this, they have zero right to be explorers. Sure, the old guy made it sound pretty simple, but for the candidates, it's anything but easy. The barrier Red called a cozy heater? That thing is basically an 8-trigram furnace burning them alive. For these rookies who never even stepped outside, it's a brutal reality check. Facing the harsh Black Lands completely shatters their dreams. They never expected the outside world to be this brutal, and Red's pressure is just insane. It's a force they can't even dream of fighting, so they're just desperately holding on with everything they've got. Some rumors said Red was getting old, claiming he's got lazy with age, but his actual skill hasn't dropped even a single bit. Those rumors are total trash, honestly. Trapping this many people under a massive barrier in a split second, that level of control is just terrifying. That's a peak-tier beast for you. No wonder most of the applicants are having a pretty miserable time in there right now, but one cage is looking a bit different. People suddenly notice the harsh red glow flowing around it is slowly turning into a cool, soothing blue light. Once that blue completely takes over, the first crack starts spiderwebbing across the surface. And just like that, Red's unbreakable cage literally shatters to pieces. Ellie walks out without a single scratch on her. Red stares closely, letting out a surprised gasp. Okay, that's pretty impressive. Especially since Cyan family magic is supposed to be completely countered by mine. Yet she just broke it instantly. You've got to admit, this girl is an actual, certified genius. After Ellie gets free, Red immediately shifts his focus to Kay. He hasn't shattered his cage like her, but he's holding his ground pretty easily. Inside, the kid looks pretty comfortable. But Red was honestly expecting a bit more. He hoped Kay could pull off a stunt like Ellie did. Everyone else thinks he's just chilling, but honestly, Kay is freaking out inside. In those arena battles earlier, he ended up wasting way too much color. If he knew this test was coming, he would have saved a bit more. Now, the harder he holds out, the faster his black color drains. His color is literally vanishing right before our eyes. Look at that. It's draining so fast that he's terrified of what happens if he goes colorless. If everyone sees him in a colorless state, their whole attitude toward him will change. They'd probably drag him away to become some lab rat. Kay cannot just sit here and take this lying down. He has to find a way out, wondering if there's anything he can absorb like before. Then, a wild thought suddenly hits him. This barrier is made of color energy too, right? So shouldn't he be able to just absorb it like last time? Sure, he's only done this once and has no clue what his limits are, but he's completely out of time to overthink it. Time to take a massive gamble. Ignoring the searing heat, he presses his hand against the barrier and starts absorbing it. But then, things get crazy. The reaction doesn't just hit his cage, it spreads to every single contestant's barrier. Kay is literally pulling in all of Red's energy and making it his. The high-ranking colorists watching from above are completely lost, while Red's face freezes into the most awkward, stiff smile. Man, this is getting wild. Red mumbles that they've run into a total maniac this time. Once the absorption wraps up, Kay's energy is completely overflowing again. Every single cage Red made has vanished, and literally everyone is staring right at Kay. This whole situation is spiraling way out of his control. He never wanted to draw this much attention. Meanwhile, to Ellie, the young lady of the Cyan family, she wanted to show off her hard training, but somehow, all eyes are locked on Kay and his bizarre, never-before-seen black color. It's totally unprecedented, and Ellie can't help but feel a sudden wave of unease. She's been raised to always be the absolute best in her family, so losing isn't an option, and she definitely can't let her sister down. But watching Kay today, Ellie has to admit the guy is incredibly strong. Like, even if she went completely all out, she's not sure she could win. There's just something about him that raw power alone can't explain. It leaves her wondering what kind of monster he actually is. But then she shakes it off. Don't overthink it. It doesn't matter what he is. Next time will be totally different. She tries to calm herself down, but Red's eyes are already off her. Ellie is just strong, but Kay, he's on a whole different level. Red completely ignores her now, walking straight over to the boy. He throws a friendly arm around Kay's shoulder, asking if that crazy black energy is his actual power. That was insane, literally swallowing everything up. He says he's dying of curiosity and wants to hear more about it in private, promising to keep it a complete secret. This ridiculously cozy treatment from Red makes the other examinees absolutely burn with jealousy, while Kay is just standing there feeling super awkward. He tentatively asks about the exam, but Red immediately waves it off, saying he's already passed and that he will take care of everything else. Kay can't help but celebrate a little inside. Turns out, standing out actually worked in his favor. Is he finally about to become an adventurer? The other candidates don't dare speak up seeing Red drag him away, but the colorists running the exam aren't about to let this slide. One of them yells out, calling Red a total idiot for doing whatever he wants and reminding him that the exam is still actively going on. Red just laughs it off, telling them to stop shouting and promising to make it up to them later. The staff is honestly completely speechless. With no other choice, the examiner announces that due to a sudden unexpected issue, the test had to be temporarily put on hold, but now they're resuming. Except for candidate 17, Ellie, who broke her barrier and passed. Everyone else will have to take a makeup test. The rest quietly breathe a sigh of relief. Whatever the makeup test is, it's bound to be easier than that absolute nightmare of a cage Red built. But Ellie isn't celebrating her second round pass at all. She just silently glares at Red's back as he drags Kay away. Leaving the place, he throws Kay into a car and drives off. Even Red's lackeys are banned from tagging along, turning this into a super shady, private face-off between the two of them. But the second Kay realizes where they parked, he goes completely pale because this is the exact spot where he fell into that nasty ink waste pool. Right now, it's just a total wreck. Looks incredibly ugly. A massive disaster went down here not too long ago, leaving nothing but absolute ruins. Red suddenly breaks the silence, putting Kay on high alert. He mentions how two explorers with colors suddenly got completely drained of their hues. Red says it was his first time seeing that. Witnesses swore they saw some massive, freakish beast lurking right around here. And then, bam, you show up. The first dude ever to sport the color black. Pretty wild coincidence, right? Red sounds super casual, but Kay knows he is basically getting interrogated. Dragging him out here was definitely because of his weird power. Specifically, his ability to swallow up other colors. That is a power completely alien to anything humanity has ever seen before. Did this guy know from the very start? Kay wonders, staring Red down. He calculates his chances. Can he actually run away right now? But making a run for it would end terribly. Red is a big shot, a legend even other top color shapers call a hero. Seeing Kay's face go totally dark, Red just laughs it off, saying he was only testing him a bit. But reacting this honestly is no fun. My gig is finding out what happened here, but honestly, I'm way more interested in your crazy power. Whether it's the black color itself or how you wield it, I've never seen anything remotely like it. Normal color powers look simple, but they can't be mixed together. Yet, Kay's crazy ability completely breaks those rules. It bypasses every single complex restriction. That gets Red super hyped. Plus, looking back at the second exam, he definitely noticed something was off. Kay can't fully control his own power. He sucked in everything nearby, not just his own cage, which basically proved Red's theory correct. Caught red-handed, Kay has absolutely zero comebacks. Red just smirks and says they need to run a little test. He wants to see the limit of this power, how it feels, and how it actually works. Then Red, he reaches out, making a proposal that completely stuns Kay. He wants Kay to drain his own red color. Kay instantly says no. Look at this. The rookie is actually trying to warn a top-tier legend. But Red just laughs it off. You're still a total newbie, worrying about a powerhouse like me? Shut up, and just do it, rookie. This time, Red's tone isn't a suggestion anymore. It's a straight-up order. Kay hesitates, but Red is a legendary hero, and he's just some rookie. Black is the color of the dead lands, a dark force that swallows everything. Letting such a dangerous power run wild, without supervision, is a massive threat. Honestly, depending on how it's used, it could completely shatter the entire foundation of this city of light. Plus, those creepy humanoids are still out there, so Red keeps a super close eye on Kay. In fact, if things go completely south, he's fully prepared to take Kay out right here. Shaking off his fear, Kay finally decides to do it. He warns him over and over, telling him that if everything goes totally wrong, it is definitely not his fault. Red doesn't even care, completely brushing off the warning. The drain begins, and Red's massive crimson energy surges right down his arm. It floods straight into Kay. The sheer intensity of that raw power instantly overloads his system, feeling like a literal furnace. He wants to pull away immediately because he is losing control. It feels like boiling lava in his veins, but his hand is totally stuck. He cannot stop the absorption either. Red's power is just too overwhelming. Is this the insane, true gap between a rookie and a real hero? On the outside, Red looks completely unfazed. But deep down, he can feel Kay hungrily draining away his life force without ever stopping, like a starving beast. Luckily, Kay's power is still pretty weak, meaning a massive powerhouse like Red can easily resist it. But for anyone else, this is a death sentence. And what they saw during the exam was definitely just the tip of the iceberg. Red wants to see exactly how this color draining works, so he refuses to let go. But after taking in a massive wave of crimson energy, now watch. Kay's entire body starts mutating. Red finally lets go, watching the kid writhe in absolute agony. He would have mistaken Kay for some savage monster. Now he's absolutely positive Kay was behind that ink tank incident. There is a lot to uncover, but first, he needs to extinguish the literal fire burning on the kid's body before he goes completely berserk. He has to subdue him now, but Kay is in a state where external attacks don't even register. Creepy, demonic voices are screaming inside his head, begging him to feed them that intense red power. They want it all, telling him to stop holding back. It is burning hot, but they keep demanding more and more. Just take it, absorb it all, the voice whispers. You want it too, don't you? It just won't shut up. His head is splitting open. Kay wants to scream at them to shut up and leave him alone, but the voices ignore him. They keep pushing him to swallow that violent crimson, whispering that it belongs to him. His body feels torn in two. One half is under his control, the other ruled by the voice. They clash violently, but in the end, K's true self wins. K finally steadies himself, leaving Red completely stunned. You actually managed to suppress it, the older man asks. K does not answer right away. Too busy gasping for air. He breathes heavily, desperate for oxygen like a drowning man. That whole situation was straight up insane. He seriously thought he was about to kick the bucket for real this time. K has no clue why he suddenly lost control like that. To make things worse, he did it right in front of a hero-class colorist. This is pretty bad. He seriously needs to study his power. Finally, after a long time, he calms down. K opens his mouth and asks, I got caught off guard because the power hit harder than expected. But that means I succeeded, right? Red gives a dry laugh, thinking for a moment before replying, well, that is quite enough for your test. By the way, you probably realized it already. I am the one sent to handle the incident here. Since it is my job, I have to find the culprit. And right in front of me is a suspect, a highly suspicious one. K's heart skips a beat again. Wait. Did Red not act like he was just letting this slide earlier? Why bring it up again? He is too scared to ask, so Red speaks first. Turns out, way more people are watching K than he thought because he stands out. Once rumors about your powers and color get out, they will point fingers at you. It does not matter that this is just the outskirts. This wreckage costs hundreds of millions to fix. Where will you get that kind of cash? And forget money. If city leaders think your power is too dangerous, they might banish you. Or worse, turn you into a lab rat. Red speaks slowly, laying out every single worst-case scenario. There is absolutely no safe way out for K. He is so stressed and angry he wants to scream. He was the actual victim here. So how did he end up as the bad guy? If you come with me, maybe I can pull some strings for you, Red says casually. K immediately bows 90 degrees right in front of him. He says loudly, please let me follow you. Red cuts him off, let me finish. I never said I would solve this for free. You have to do some chores for me. You down with that? K quickly calculates his options. Better than being broke or a test subject. If he has to work his body to the bone, he will do it. Yes, of course. I will do whatever you need, K replies. That is when Red flashes a pretty sinister smirk. Oh? Everything? Now, let us follow him as he leads K out into the wild lands. A tiny tremor shakes the ground, making a lizard shiver. Turns out, it is just a massive wheel rolling past. K sits inside, staring blankly at the scenery. He has never traveled this far before. Is this his first step as a pioneer? While he is lost in thought, a guy walks up. Hey. Black-haired kid, the teammate grumbles, clearly annoyed by K's zoning out. Seriously, you are making me nervous. Stop pacing and sit down. K walks over, looks at Gale and Ellie Cyan, and silently thinks to himself, starting my dream job as a pioneer. We are actually teammates now on the same squad. Is this really happening? Or am I dreaming? Flashback to a few days ago. K was completely shocked after hearing the sudden news. You want me on this expedition? Red explains as they walk together. I found a place in the uncharted zone. I might need your help. Do not give me that look. You are not going alone. Do not sweat it. All the new recruits are joining this trip. You will be staying with them. The Corps will announce the expedition plan soon. You will get detailed instructions. Just show up on time at the meeting spot, clear? Back to the present. K still cannot stop overthinking. When he finally arrived at the camp, they were already waiting for him. Red's sudden interference totally messed up the exam process. To keep things fair, everyone got a second chance to retake it. A bunch of strong candidates passed the makeup exam. Elysian, the top scorer, even asked to join Red's squad herself to prove her worth. While Kay is deep in thought, Gale walks over to complain. I cannot believe an idiot like you embarrassed me. I only let my guard down for a second. You will not get lucky next time. Just wait till this expedition is over. If Lady Lavian was not sitting right behind us, I would destroy you. I would have crushed you to pieces. The bickering between the two boys clearly annoys Cian. Drop it. You will just get beaten again. You are wasting your breath. Kay is on a higher level than you. Getting a harsh reality check from the beauty, Gale immediately snaps. What? Watching them, Kay lets his mind drift again. She can actually talk to him. They have no idea what Kay is really thinking. Cian keeps talking. I will be the one to challenge Kay first. We locked eyes earlier and agreed. So, when is it going down? Since you lost, shut up and wait your turn. The air gets incredibly tense. Kay suddenly realizes something. Feeling a bit of dread creeping in, he sighs in frustration, wondering if this group will actually survive. Shortly after, the entire team enters a pretty bustling, lively area. Kay and his crew step down, his heart racing. So, this is the Dawncore Pioneer Outpost? Before, whenever I went into the Black Lands, I was alone. I had to pack everything by myself. S-class guilds are on another level. They prepare absolutely everything for you. Just then, a pair of hands pops up right in front of him. A girl asks, "What are you staring at?" He recognizes her instantly. Kay cannot hide his joy. "Marine, you came." You can already tell how much she supports him. "Of course I am here for your first mission." She smiles. "Plus, look who else is here, Nero." Kay immediately hugs his cute pet. "Thanks for watching over him, Marine." She giggles warmly. "It is nothing. Nero is family to me too. Besides, joining the Dawncore expedition is a pretty massive opportunity. My skills are actually needed here, and getting this experience is huge." As they chat, a voice suddenly yells out a loud announcement from afar. "Yo, listen up. Everyone, huddle up. We are pushing into the Black Lands soon," which makes Kay quickly hand his pet Nero over to Marine. "I got a split. Watch Nero for me," Kay tells her. Marine nods, telling him to chill, leave it to her, and avoid doing anything stupid. Marine looks at Nero. "Don't be sad," she whispers. But before she can even finish, the little beast suddenly jumps away. It bolts straight back to its master. In a flash, it slips right into Kay's shadow. This is absolutely wild. Marine's jaw completely drops. She screams, "Wait, Kay!" But her voice gets drowned out by the loud chaos around them. Her voice is drowned out completely. She just sighs. Well, hopefully, this is not a big deal. Back at the training camp, a loud voice barks a serious warning. "Get ready. Everyone. We are entering the Black Lands. Safety first. That is the rule." Scouts in Sector 21 just reported some seriously nasty, unidentified monsters roaming the area. That is exactly where an A-rank beast corpse was found, so stay sharp because it is highly lethal. But right as Arancia is lecturing the rookies, a scout rushes in, calling her name. Arancia whips around and asks what's up. The guard hesitates, looking pretty nervous as he reports that Captain Red has gone rogue. He took the rookies and ditched their assigned formation without any permission. Arancia freaks out. "What? Seriously?" The guy quickly nods, confirming it's true. Yeah, he really did. Since Arancia is in charge of this sector, she instantly gets a massive headache hearing about his stupid stunts. That guy again. Classic. She orders them to secure those rookies immediately as the scene shifts to a pitch-black abyss. A trembling hand slowly emerges from the dark. Turns out this is Kay's squad, led by Red. Kay speaks up, questioning him. "Hey, Captain, the main squad went a totally different way. Is this place actually safe?" Red just turns around, oozing absolute confidence as he replies. "Our destination is slightly different, kid." Kay instantly fires back, pointing out how stupid it is to pack a bunch of rookies together. Then, he suddenly spins around. "Why are you two tailing us?" "Red only invited me," Kay says. But Gale, still desperate to pick a fight, snaps back as if I'm trailing behind some loser like you. Cian chimes in too, saying that training under Captain Red is a once-in-a-lifetime deal. No way she is letting Kay hoard all the action for himself. Seeing the kids starting to argue again, Red turns back and warns them that he isn't here to spoon-feed anyone. But with me around, you guys won't get wrecked. Just act like real comrades. Now, enough talk, let's move. No more talking, let's go. Finally, led by Captain Red, the squad reaches a dark zone crawling with monsters, and one immediately lets out a massive, terrifying roar. But it is all just cheap show before Elysion's blade slices it in half. She is completely chill, acting like this deadly black land is just some local park. Man, this air is suffocating, and the beasts keep swarming us. This is a real, life-or-death battle. Not some school practice. I need to budget my energy. If I waste it, I'll burn out fast. I gotta move smart and plan my next strikes. No way I am falling behind Kay. But then check this out. Something happens that makes Elysion freeze in absolute shock. She walks over and asks, "Hey Kay, why don't you ever use items?" "You didn't use them in the entrance exam either." Kay just shrugs calmly. "I don't own any. They are way too expensive, plus I don't really need them anyway." Hearing this, both of them are utterly speechless. Their minds are completely blown. What, he really has never used one? Spy is literally the most basic gear needed to fight these beasts. Normally, you have to inject color into a beast using Spy to kill it. But this guy is crushing them with his bare hands? Realizing this, Gale's arm starts shaking. So I picked a fight with a guy who doesn't even use standard gear, and I still lost? He absolutely cannot accept this reality. Gale grinds his teeth in rage. He glares at Kay, muttering that he will personally crush him one day. But as he is stewing, Red sneaks up behind them, silently evaluating the situation. Not bad. These two geniuses need this kind of spark to explode. This is getting way more interesting. He claps his hands, telling the squad to move out since they are almost at the target area. Just a bit more push, then we can wrap this up and go celebrate. Meanwhile, the scene cuts to a creepy zone packed with swarming monsters. Red strolls over and warns them that break time is over. They haven't even started the real work yet. So stay alert. Take 10 minutes, then we move. Gale groans, complaining that he didn't expect to burn through so much of his color already, instantly catching Kay's attention. He is drinking special refined ink, which is crucial for Pathfinders to restore their color and energy on the fly. It is custom-made to match each user's unique color, making it insanely expensive. Yet these rich kids chug it like it is tap water. Talk about pure jealousy. Not that Kay actually needs it, though. But right then, Elysion spots him doing something incredibly weird. Right as she speaks, the monster carcasses melt directly into Kay's body. He clenches his fist, feeling the massive surge of energy flowing through his veins. Once the absorption is done, Kay pumps his fist in pure excitement. Nice. He is back to full power already. Elysion and Gale immediately rush over to check on him, asking if he is seriously okay. Kay just shrugs, totally chill. "I'm fine. I do this all the time," he replies. Eli still looks worried, asking how absorbing a literal monster is safe, while Gale stands there stunned. Gale is utterly losing his mind, thinking this guy is a certified psycho for just eating monsters like snacks. While the squad is still processing this, Red claps his hands to end the break. "All right, kids, resting time is over. Let's keep moving." We are finally here, right in front of us. Right now, a massive dark sphere is totally blocking the whole path. Kay stares at it and asks, "Is that a black barrier?" Red patiently explains that this exact shield is why he brought them here. He says, "See for yourselves, guys." Right after speaking, he immediately shoots a blast of energy straight at the black barrier. But surprisingly, nothing happens yet. Red explains in a deep voice, "Try to break it with brute force, and it just eats your attack and gets harder. This looks pretty similar to your own cheat skill, right? I had a gut feeling your power could shatter this wall and open the path to the ruins. And once we get inside those ruins, we have to find our main quest objective, the Star Fragment." Hearing that weird name, they are stunned. Gale and Elysion are totally lost, asking what that even is, while Kay just stands there looking dead serious and quiet. Red does not care about the rookies being confused and just keeps explaining that this is what the City of Light desperately wants. They are desperately searching for this thing. I will explain later, but first, break this shield. While Red is still talking, K moves. K slowly walks up to the dark barrier, his hand just inches away. As expected, the exact second his energy touches the shield, a reaction starts. And check this out, a massive black vortex begins swirling and expanding right in front of them, spinning completely out of control. Red gets super hyped, it is working, the wall is vanishing. K, your cheat power is seriously too useful. Standing behind him, Gale frowns. Gale starts sweating from the heavy pressure, complaining about the loud shaking. If they make this much noise, the monsters will show up. And right on cue, they do. Loud roars shake the entire cavern as a terrifying beast slowly crawls out of the shadows, glaring straight at the group with pure rage. Red smirked at its ugly face, saying it looks like the whole pack showed up. We will handle them while K breaks the shield. Go wipe them out. Before he even finishes speaking, two figures dash forward. And Gale is the first to strike. He swings his sword, tearing through the air, while Elysian shows off by launching sharp ice spears straight through the monsters. Watching them work, Red looks pretty satisfied. He thought he would have to help, but these rookies do not need it at all. He expected to clean up their mess, but they are absolutely crushing it. Since he has nothing to do, he feels useless. Red just stands next to K to guard him while he absorbs the shield. But K is starting to feel something really sketchy and weird. Something is wrong. Why does this barrier feel exactly like his own power? Is it just because they are both black? If he loses focus, this thing might drain him, but luckily it is much weaker. Soon, K fully absorbs the barrier. Now a deep, pitch-black tunnel lies right ahead. It looks totally bottomless. K immediately turns around and yells out to his captain. Captain, the barrier is gone. Red is super proud of the kid, telling K he did an epic job. My gut was right. The shield is gone. Just group up here. We do not have to kill them all. But before he can even finish, his eyes go wide. Using insane reflexes, Red grabs Gale and Elysian, pulling them back. Now look at this. A massive explosion completely wrecks the area, and any monster caught in the blast is instantly vaporized. They literally turn to dust. Even though Red is incredibly strong, he is completely shook and gasps, "What is this? No way. Things never go this easy, right?" They got reports of a high-tier monster nearby, and now the boss beast is finally here. Looks like playtime is officially over. A strange beast man carrying weird weapons slowly steps out right in front of them. The guy's eyes are full of pure bloodlust, glaring at them like prey. Red gets serious and yells everyone. "Listen up." K quickly nods, and Red hands him a lantern without saying much, telling the kids to run straight into the ruins right now. Work together to find that star fragment. K panics and asks, "Wait, you want us to go alone?" Red just tells them to stop talking and run. Before the squad falls down, their voices echo back. "Captain Red, help us. How are we supposed to do this alone?" Once their voices fade, Red and Gerard just stare each other down, ready for war. Deep inside the cave, it is pitch black and freezing cold. Kay finally wakes up with his entire body aching like crazy. He turns on the lantern Red gave him and looks around carefully. Is this actually the inside of those ruins? Getting a grip, Kay slowly walks forward. Once he sees what is ahead, his jaw literally drops in pure shock. Standing before him is a massive ancient city with giant creepy structures. He mutters, "What on earth is this crazy place?" He cannot believe his eyes. This is insane. Who would have thought a massive place like this is hidden deep underground? While he is standing there dazed, some familiar voices echo, telling someone to stop complaining and walk toward the light. Once they walk closer, Kay recognizes them and feels relieved he is not alone. Elysian walks up from behind, explaining they are lost too. She blames Gale for the entire mess. Gale immediately snaps back, "Hey, you are not any better than me, so stop complaining." Gale looks around the massive cavern and admits this place is way bigger than he expected, holding remains of an ancient world. But how are they supposed to find a tiny star fragment in a massive place like this? We don't even know what this thing looks like. Hearing Gale talk makes Kay pretty anxious. Honestly, if we keep wandering around like headless flies, we're done. Stuck here forever? Definitely. He silently groans to himself. Man, if only Nero was around to help us out. But right as that thought crosses his mind, a familiar squeak echoes. Nero suddenly crawls right out of Kay's shadow, shocking him. Kay freezes. How did Nero even get here? Elysion stares closely, whispering, "A monster?" Hearing those words, Kay panics immediately. Oh crap, what now? They already saw it, so making up excuses is totally useless. But wait, maybe this is fine. Honestly, this could be a great chance since he's already a Pathfinder. He can't hide Nero forever anyway. If he shows them how useful the little guy is, he quickly calls them both over, saying he's got an easy way to find the star shards. So Kay quickly explains his whole plan to them. But of course, Gale is still pretty skeptical about the whole thing. You're saying this tiny thing is what you raised, and it's going to lead us to the star shard? Kay immediately promises it will find them fast. Gale shakes his head. Total lies, he says. If such a rare creature actually existed, there's no way we wouldn't know. Look, I don't know, Kay tries to explain. I'm telling the truth. You know what? Showing you is just faster. Go on, Nero, do your thing. Show this absolute idiot how talented you are. Hearing his master's voice, Nero pokes its head right out of Elysion's collar and quickly leaps away from her. It flies straight up into the air, its tiny body curling into a glowing ball. Suddenly, a bright light starts radiating from Nero, quickly spreading everywhere. Gale and Elysion are completely speechless. It worked. Within seconds, the little guy locks onto a direction and bolts. Dashing straight ahead, the little guy leaves Gale totally losing his mind. No way a monster actually follows a human around like a pet. And it has special powers, too? I've literally never heard of anything like this. Where did he even find it? Kay doesn't care about his complaining at all. He just urges Nero forward. You feel the star shard nearby, right? I'm counting on you, buddy. And right as those words leave his mouth, Nero senses something. Its eyes fly wide open. It turns into a streak of pure light, zooming ahead. Kay gets hyped. Did you find it? Nobody wastes another second. The trio dashes right after Nero. But after a while, Kay suddenly stops. Wait, over there? We're going pretty deep into this place. How much further is this? Gale immediately starts baiting him. What are you hesitating for? If you're scared, go home. Kay snaps back. Who says I'm scared? Let's go. They head deeper into this seriously eerie, mysterious zone. Elysion looks around, taking in the weird vibes of their surroundings. This place is way bigger than I expected, she notes. What did they even use it for? Kay keeps his eyes locked on Nero. More importantly, wait, Nero is changing direction. He definitely found something and... Oh, look at what's heading right for them. Kay freezes on the spot as this massive object slowly rolls toward them. Gale steps forward, completely on guard. Okay, so it actually found something. What is this machine? Is it a monster? No, doesn't really look like one. While they're trying to figure it out, the machine suddenly shoots out a red beam, scanning Elysion. The screen flashes unidentified. It scans Gale next, with the exact same result. Kay's eyes widen. Wait, is it scanning for color codes? Is it checking our colors? He doesn't even finish speaking. The scanner hits him. Because of his highly unusual color, Kay gets flagged by the machine instantly. A warning blares out. Black witch color detected. Threat level confirmed. Initiate elimination. And with one single, massive punch, Kay gets launched backward, away from his shocked friends. Luckily, he blocks the impact with his arms just in time, glaring right back at the mechanical beast. Are you completely insane? Just attacking people out of nowhere. I don't care what you are. If you strike first, you better be ready to get totally obliterated. His hands are shaking. So solid. What even is this thing? Just as the machine winds up for another deadly strike, Ice magic freezes the machine right in its tracks. Gale rushes in to capitalize, while Elysian quickly analyzes the situation. Even with our color powers, we aren't doing jack. There's not even a single scratch on it. Is it because this isn't a normal monster? Wait, is that core filled with ink? If that's its weak spot, we've got to strike there, fast. K isn't about to just stand around. He charges forward, channeling every ounce of his power into his fists for a massive blow. He's ready to unleash his finisher, but his instincts suddenly scream danger. Relying purely on lightning-fast reflexes, he barely manages to dodge. K ducks low, barely dodging. He grits his teeth. Damn it. Normal physical attacks are completely useless against this thing. What now? Wait, that's it. If I wrap my entire body in black color like I did during that last fight, it might actually work. But that takes way too much of my color juice. Okay. Let's just coat my fists instead. As the machine charges straight at him, K finishes wrapping his arms in pure black energy. He drops his stance, focusing everything he's got into one final, devastating counterattack. The two forces collide with a massive bang, cracking the ground beneath them. But K comes out on top as the machine begins to violently shake. The machine goes dark. K sighs in relief. He's totally drained of energy as he looks down at the pile of scrap metal. Well, that thing was way more annoying than I expected. While looking over the wreckage, K spots a strange object. He picks it up, examining it closely. Is this the core? It looks totally different from the normal ones. If I bring this back to Marine, she's probably gonna love it. But while K is totally relaxed, his two friends are losing their minds. K, what the hell was that power? I thought your only ability was absorbing stuff. You've got to explain this clearly. We need to know for our next battle. Gale immediately chimed in as well. Seriously, if you could do that, why didn't you use it sooner? You just wasted so much color. Kay isn't exactly thrilled to hear that. Who do you think you are, bossing me around? That technique drains way too much color, and I am not using it unless it is an absolute emergency right as the three of them are talking. Suddenly, a loud noise goes off, catching everyone's attention. They all whip their heads around just in time to see that creepy door opening all on its own. As they get closer, Nero suddenly starts acting super sketchy. Kay notices and immediately asks, "What is it, Nero? Is there something over there? I do not see a single thing. Are you sure it is safe? This feels just like that barrier from before." And yep, the second he touches the door, a massive shockwave rips through the entire place. Everyone panics. What is this? It is pulling us in. Why did you touch that? Watch out. No matter how hard they try, they simply cannot resist that massive pulling force. In the blink of an eye, the door sucks them straight inside. They crash land in a void that is even darker than before. Ouch, my head. Where the hell are we anyway? They are all struggling to adapt to this pitch-black void. What is this place? It is too dark. I cannot see a thing. Kay loudly shouts, "Is everyone okay?" But Gale only cares about one thing. Wait, my color? My color is totally gone, and he is not the only one. They freeze as their colors literally start fading away. Talk about creepy. What the hell is even happening to this place? Is blinded by a flash of light. The scene quickly shifts over to the Eastern Administration office. Inside the room, Director Ravik slams his hand on the desk, absolutely furious. "Have you found that brat's location yet?" "Where the hell did he go?" Cao quickly answers, "I heard he tagged along on the exploration mission with Red. He even told me to tell you to keep your nose out of his business." Ravik loses it and starts cursing. Damn it. He is a black user. How could anyone let a walking hazard like him out onto the battlefield? He mumbles, totally stressed out. What on earth is Red thinking? Sure, he is a certified hero. But this time, he has gone way too far. When that thing showed up in the city, we did everything to cover it up so the public would not panic. But the council? They are already losing their minds. They are screaming that the dark tide is back. What am I supposed to tell them? I am the one getting chewed out here, and it solves absolutely nothing. At least give me some excuse to shut them up. Camellia calmly raises her teacup and smirks. Looks like someone is in a terrible mood today. The speaker is Camellia, captain of the Dawn Vanguard. She looks at the director and slowly says, "Chill out. Keep this up and you will end up back in the hospital. I get your stress, but do not lose your cool. Do you really think Red would move without a plan? Red is right there with him. You know that. That alone is basically the safest insurance policy we could ever ask for. Plus, nobody else is even qualified for this job. And who knows? Maybe he brought a high-risk wildcard along on purpose this time. Maybe he is chasing some massive, unexpected payoff. The only thing we need to do right now is stop stressing and just have some faith." Camellia takes a quick sip of her tea, immediately puts it down, and winces. Way too bitter. Ravik is still not buying it. I know having Red there keeps the worst from happening. But still, Camellia casually drops some sugar into her cup and smiles. "How do you even drink this stuff? I hate it." Her totally carefree vibe only makes Ravik even more pissed. "Camellia, focus and talk to me." She just laughs it off. "Chill. I am listening. I am not deaf." She slowly continues, "Look, I get why you are so terrified of black. It is because of the Dark Witch, right? Black is a dangerous color. It represents death and pure terror. Back during the first dark tide caused by that witch, humanity was literally on the brink of extinction. Back then, mutated monsters swarmed the earth. A thick black fog swallowed everything, and the whole world turned into a corrupted wasteland. The dark tide is bound to return. Our city survived some massive hits, but the next threat is just a matter of time. The only reason we desperately explore and reclaim land is to survive. You have seen the reports about the massive surge, and weird anomalies are popping up everywhere lately. And now, a black user shows up out of nowhere? You just know things are about to get wild. Are actually connected yet. But if they are, one thing is totally clear for our future. We need all the firepower we can get. Like Lord Luminous said, we must use every single resource on hand, even if that resource is black. So, Director, please convince the council." Ravik just sighs helplessly. Easier said than done. His eyes slowly drift to the file on K sitting right on his desk. He mumbles, "I will do my best." Who knows? Maybe the future of our entire City of Light actually revolves around this kid now. Anyway, we cut straight back to K. All three of them are trapped in a pitch-black abyss. What is going on? Gale panics, pointing directly at K and screaming, "My color is completely gone. Why do you still have yours?" K just shakes his head. "How should I know? Maybe it is because I am already black." Gale pants, completely exhausted. "I barely even screamed and I am already wiped out." Elysian nods, feeling the exact same drain. My body feels entirely weightless. Watching them, K gets suspicious. Why are they so weak? I feel perfectly fine. Is this really what happens when normal people lose their color? And ever since we got here, I have felt this weird sensation. If I focus my vision, it is like I can actually see things in the dark. Sure enough, tiny circles begin to take shape. K instantly draws his sword and barks out a warning. "Who is there? Show yourself." K ponders silently. I have heard these whispers before. No. It is similar. But something about this feels completely wrong. Something terrible is about to happen. Right when they least expect it, a hazy shadow slowly materializes. K whips around instantly. Shock is written all over their faces. Gale and Elysion both pale instantly, and someone blabs out, "What on earth is that thing? Is it a monster?" K mutters that he can't sense a single thing, wondering when it even got there. Then, the creature's finger slowly points straight at him. His head instantly starts spinning. Darkness slowly wraps around his entire body, and K feels his consciousness getting dragged down into some pitch-black abyss. Visions of countless monsters flash in a suffocating blood-red sky, and looming high above them is a gigantic beast ruling over the chaos. It is controlling the entire horde. Alongside it, a mysterious girl appears, leaving K staring straight ahead in total shock. Is this a memory or reality? He doesn't even know who he is anymore. Suddenly, A strange voice echoes out. Fine, you need a name. Kay, that's yours. Go find your own light. Hearing this, Kay clutches his head in absolute agony. What are these weird visions anyway? But at the very last second, he definitely saw her. It was Lumion. Right at that exact moment, a fierce roar echoes from behind. Are you kidding me? Bring it on, you bastards. Kay quickly whips his head around to find Gale completely out of control. He's swinging his sword wildly like a lunatic, screaming about what he did wrong, while Elysion crouches in a corner crying for him to stop. Gale's eyes have gone totally pitch black, his sanity completely wiped out as he vows to kill everyone. Elysion isn't doing any better either. She breaks down crying, constantly apologizing and saying it's all her fault, begging for forgiveness and promising she will never do it again. She can't take it anymore. Seeing their state, Kay instantly realizes both of them are in deep trouble, and that creature from earlier is definitely the cause. There's no way they can stay here. But just as they're about to run, check this out. A bright beam of light shoots toward Kay. Recognizing the familiar glow, he calls out happily, Nero, you're safe. Are you all right in this crazy place? Seeing Nero wildly waving its arms around, Kay asks what's wrong and if there's something over there. Got it. So I just need to follow your lead, right? Let's check it out. But first, I've got to help these two. Nero, can you do something? Can your power help us out? Instantly, a dazzling glow erupts from Nero, completely wrapping around Gale and Elysion. Their eyes slowly return to normal, and they both freeze up. Kay shouts awesome. It actually worked. He tells them to stay put while he checks things out ahead. Kay quickly follows the path guided by that bright white beam of light. He keeps scanning the dark area as he walks, feeling like he's going forever without finding a single thing. That's when that familiar whisper echoes once again. It's that creepy whisper again, constantly buzzing in his ears, saying that no color can ever stain him. This only makes Kay feel more annoyed. He's totally sick of hearing all this weird babble. Suddenly, a tiny speck of light shines ahead. Kay quickly looks up and rushes forward. Is there actually something over there? Reaching the end, the entire space bursts into light. Kay's heart skips a beat. He finally found it. The star fragment is sitting right before him. Kay stares closely and mutters that it looks like the real deal, but its shape and glow are totally different from the one he saw before. Maybe every fragment looks unique. Kay slowly steps closer, decides to just grab it and get out of there. Slowly reaching his hand forward. He seriously doesn't want to hang around this creepy place any longer. Right then, the star fragment erupts into a brilliant, rainbow-colored glow. Right then, his inner power suddenly triggers on its own. The light from his chest rapidly spreads throughout his entire body. Kay is stunned. What was that? Did his absorption power just activate on its own? Well, it should be fine. It's only for a split second. The light instantly wipes out the darkness behind him. Watching the black space vanish, Kay is totally shocked. This dark land is full of bizarre things that constantly catch him off guard. He runs back to Gale and Elysion, asking if they feel better. Elysion asks curiously how he stayed completely fine in that darkness. Kay just shrugs, holds up the star fragment, and tells them to look. More importantly, look at this. We found it, the star fragment. Gale inspects it closely and notes this is exactly what Captain Red mentioned. But why is it so tiny? Elysion is totally amazed by these unbelievable colors. What is this? Then she looks at Kay with sheer curiosity. But seriously, Kay, how is your body completely unaffected by all of this? Kay calmly says he's perfectly fine, but while the three of them are talking, Nero sneaks closer, and before anyone can react, its mouth pops open. I literally can't believe it. It swallows the whole star fragment. Everyone goes dead silent. Kay just stares at Nero in absolute disbelief. Gale and Elysion are just standing there, completely petrified. Kay loses his mind and screams at Nero, asking what it just did, warning that it isn't food. Gale instantly grabs Nero and shakes it violently, screaming at it to spit it out right now. His incredibly rough actions make Kay flinch behind him. What do you think you're doing? Gale yells back furiously, saying they went through absolute hell to get here. And now this happens? Just let go of Nero. Right at that second, the entire place violently shakes, instantly shutting all three of them up. Kay goes pale. What the heck? Is this whole place collapsing? Without wasting a single second, Gale turns and bolts, shouting to run. The squad rushes to escape the collapsing cavern, desperate to find a way out. Meanwhile, a group of people is gathering outside. Suddenly, the ground splits wide open, letting out a thick wave of ominous black fog. One of them stops dead in his tracks and curses loudly. Arancia kneels to inspect the tracks. Hearing about a dangerous beast around here, she'd been wondering what it was, staring at the ground with deep worry. These tracks, could it really be that thing? Arancia quickly confirms it that battle-hungry monster is back. The humanoid beast, the Demon Swordsman. I seriously thought it was just some stupid little turf war. But then one of that crazy witch's shadow hands shows up and immediately starts picking a fight. Plus, the guy's incredibly sneaky, which is a massive pain since monsters have been wrecking our outposts lately. Is this connected to the demon sword? All right, mission's over. Let's pack up and get out. Hearing that, she actually hesitates a little. But we are so close. Arancia immediately shuts it down. No way. We hit our minimum goal by grabbing 10 ink drops and raw materials. I'm not risking lives. The whole point was getting these rookies used to the Blacklands, and they've seen enough. Right as the words leave her mouth, a massive shockwave rumbles from the distance. Everyone whips their heads around to see a crazy red light exploding in the sky, making Arancia panic inside. Is that Red's power? If he's already throwing hands, does that mean the demon sword is right there? Suddenly, someone screams, "Duck down!" Instantly, wild gusts of wind come tearing through. Arancia freezes right in her tracks as her brain goes into overdrive trying to make a choice. No time to waste. Arancia yells out her orders, everyone. Get back to base right now. Meanwhile, a massive burst of energy shoots forward. She grips her weapon tight and dashes right into the heat of it. Lifting her heavy mace, Arancia's face turns completely serious. She swings it hard toward the crazy shockwave and yells out to her squad, "This mission is officially over. Head straight back to the outpost. I'm going to back up Red." Kern quickly nods, "Got it. I'll lead the rest back. Watch your back out there, Lady Arancia." Once they're safe, Arancia rockets straight toward that blazing red light. Down in the crater, Red and Gerard are going head-to-head. Swords are clashing so fast it's just a blur of flying sparks. Slashes rip through the air as Gerard grips the hilt on his back, slowly pulling his blade to release this totally suffocating, evil energy. He throws a brutal strike right at Red's face, but Red manages to raise his blade and block the hit in a split second. Red parries the blow away, but right then, Gerard straight up teleports directly in front of his face. Red instantly blocks another crazy strike. It's a dead-even clash of raw strength, making tons of sparks fly everywhere as they push against each other. Huge flames erupt and light up the whole crater, forcing Red to jump back. Gerard emerges from the fire with a totally emotionless face. And look who just crashed the party. Arancia charges in with her mace, yelling, "Nice job baiting him, Red. Try dodging this if you can, punk." She slams her heavy mace down with everything she's got, smashing Gerard straight into the dirt. Rubble rains down all over him. Arancia runs over to Red, looking a bit worried, and asks if she took too long. Red just sighs in relief, "Man, I almost fell asleep." Arancia snaps back to tell him to shut up as Gerard starts rising. She warns Red that her hit landed, but probably didn't do much. Sure enough, Gerard looks totally fine, staring them down with those icy eyes. Red shrugs it off with absolute confidence. "Relax. With you backing me up, we can easily take this jerk down." Arancia tells him not to let his guard down. Seriously, it's a good thing she showed up before he did something stupid. No colorist, including her, wants to see him go all out anyway. Red activates his powers, grumbling about her always lecturing him. But now that she's here, they might as well take out this creep together. As the two team up, Gerard just stands there, his dark aura growing even heavier. But suddenly, a random voice echoes out almost there. Hearing that, Red completely freezes up. Even Gerard reacts, snapping his gaze back toward the dark pit where the noise came from. Kay and his buddies are arguing inside, complaining about getting pushed. Well, then climb faster. Just then, a hand appears. Someone grabs the edge of the pit, totally relieved. Kay pulls himself up first, celebrating because he's never been so happy to see land. He swears he's never going back down there again. But his voice cuts off when he realizes what is standing right in front of him. Talk about the absolute worst timing ever. Gerard turns and glares at Kay, while Red rushes to save them. Damn it, why did they show up now? Red screams for the rookies to get back. It's a dead sprint, as both Red and Gerard rush straight for them. Red yells for them not to fight him, but the kids freeze. Gerard is moving ridiculously fast, forcing Gale to instantly grip his sword hilt. He draws to defend himself while Elysion grips her own blade to strike. Together, they launch 2 simultaneous slashes straight at Gerard, but both of their weapons instantly shatter against his raw power. Gale and Elysion can only stare in sheer terror. What the hell? Did our weapons seriously just break in a single hit? As Gerard raises his blade again, pure despair hits them. They're dead. But then, a blade flashes through the dark. The icy steel swings down, but Kay throws his own body in the way to take the hit. The brutal impact makes him spit up blood. His face goes completely pale as he stumbles and collapses. Gale and Elysion scream out in panic as Gale rushes forward to help him, but Elysion gets yanked backward by some insane force. Before she can react, she is grabbed by Gerard with a cold blade pressed to her neck. His voice is freezing cold. Back off and clear the way. Do not follow me. Where is the key? Give it to me now or she dies. Kay is face down on the ground, his arm completely severed. Watching this horrific sight, Nero breaks down and starts crying hysterically. Seeing this, Red snaps. His voice drops into a dead, freezing tone that sounds like it crawled straight out of hell. You absolute bastard. Somewhere in the shadows, Kay's fingers twitch, totally unnoticed. Meanwhile, Gerard keeps barking out cold orders, telling Arancia to make her choice already. Furious, she glares and grits her teeth, screaming back at him to shut it, since she has no clue what he wants. But right then, she spots Kay behind him. He is slowly getting up, surrounded by this creepy black aura that is just pouring off him. Gerard instantly senses the weird movement right behind his back. He whips his head around and completely freezes. Kay's face is totally covered in shadows. It straight up sends a massive shockwave of fear through Gerard. What the hell are you? Gerard stutters out, totally panicking as crazy black fog rises from Kay. Talk about an absolute nightmare unfolding right in front of us. How is this kid even standing? Gerard wonders, watching the dark energy wrap around Kay. Why on earth would a human turn pitch black like this? Swirling dark mist wraps around Kay's wrists as he slowly lifts his hands. In a split second, a massive black vortex violently explodes forward from him. Caught completely off guard, Gerard gets blasted straight backward. Over on the other side, Red and Arancia can only watch in total shock, completely frozen. Before anyone can react, Kay grabs Gerard by the throat. He easily lifts the giant dude off the ground, making it obvious things are getting pretty out of hand. Arancia screams out for them to run, while Red secretly panics. Damn it, Kay, has the darkness eaten you? Don't tell me you have actually become one of the shadow hands. Meanwhile, Gerard feels this weird power slowly creeping in and taking over his entire body. It is literally erasing my existence, he panics, realizing this is no illusion. This feels exactly like her power. So you are the key, aren't you? Right then, the dark energy surrounding Kay suddenly transforms into massive, beastly mouths that launch straight at him. Seeing those razor-sharp teeth lunging at him, Gerard panics. He quickly draws his blade and swings wildly, creating a massive web of slashes in the air. He manages to shred the incoming heads, but after a quick clash, Gerard realizes there is no way he can take this guy down right now. Switching his strategy, he decides to aim for Kay's limbs instead, unleashing a flurry of brutal strikes directly onto his body. But Gerard freezes when he sees the shocking truth. Even though his sword lands directly on Kay's shoulder, it does not leave a single scratch. Gerard is utterly flabbergasted. No way. Is this useless? Kay simply grabs the sharp blade with his bare hands and slowly pushes it away from his shoulder. He stands there in shock, unable to believe how bad things have gotten. Just then, a loud voice echoes, making Gerard instinctively look straight ahead. "Hey, look at me!" Arancia yells, charging in. "Get ready, guys, because she is about to swing her massive hammer right at Gerard with total hype. Time to pay up," she screams, bringing her hammer down with everything she has. "You are done for." Gerard tries to block, but his sword shatters into a million tiny pieces. He barely manages to stay on his feet after that devastating blow, silently sweating over how close that was. That was way too close, he thinks, while Arancia lifts her hammer to attack again. Knowing he cannot survive another clash, he prepares to run. Gerard immediately decides to bail. "I need to retreat," he thinks. "I already found the key anyway." He swiftly dodges her attack and slips away, leaving her stunned. Arancia snaps, screaming that he must be joking if he thinks he can just trash the place and run. "You only run when you are losing, huh?" "Captain, he is heading that way. We have to stop him before he reaches the abyss." Just as Gerard is about to escape, Red's voice echoes from right ahead, asking him where he thinks he is going. He grips his sword and prepares his attack. Flame Slasher! Right after his yell, a massive, fiery strike cuts straight through the air, hitting Gerard head-on. The pure force of the blast drags Gerard backward, slicing off one of his arms in the process. He stares in utter disbelief at the wound. That was a flame strike, meaning I can't even regenerate my arm. Red completely ignores his panic and slowly walks forward to finish the job. "Now we can finally end you," he says, promising to wipe him out just like his lackeys. He then unleashes a barrage of bloody slash attacks. Overwhelmed by Red's relentless onslaught, Gerard is forced to yield. But he warns them that next time, they won't get off so easily. "The key will definitely be mine," he spits out. With that parting threat, he quickly vanishes into the deep, dark shadows of the cave. Red can only watch as the villain escapes. Arancia, standing right next to him, snaps and tells her captain they need to chase him down immediately. Red shakes his head, saying it is too risky to go any further. This makes Arancia even more annoyed since they were so close to catching him. Red just sighs, explaining they aren't prepared to enter the abyss. Even with light magic on their side, this is as far as they can go. It is so frustrating that the dark zone is their shield. Just then, Elysion slowly walks up from behind and calls out to her captain. She apologizes for being a total drag, but Red quickly reassures her, saying he is just incredibly glad they survived. Coming back from that monster alive is a massive miracle. More importantly, what do we do about Kay? Is he even conscious? Red looks at his current state and starts worrying deep down. "I knew Kay's power was pretty risky, but this is straight up insane. Is he actually absorbing the Dark Land?" Everyone just stands there, watching in shock. Kay keeps acting stranger by the second. Someone timidly asks if he is still in there, but in the next moment, everyone is completely stunned. Kay's body completely loses its color. Suddenly, a weird light starts glowing around where he fell, and everyone slowly edges closer to get a better look. Someone asks what is happening to him. Meanwhile, the scene cuts elsewhere, where a heavily wounded Gerard has fled, leaving a trail of dark blood on the ground. Crimson drops keep falling onto the floor as he pants heavily from pure exhaustion. At the same time, dark energy is still violently raging inside his body. But even in his weakened state, Gerard senses another presence nearby. Has someone already arrived before me, he wonders, as a shadow slowly walks toward him. Damn. What happened to you? You look totally trashed. Who beat you up? Gerard glares at Viper, gritting his teeth. You still love sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, don't you? Right, Viper? She just smirks, acting all playful even though she got totally rejected. Well, she says, I was getting pretty bored anyway, so this is actually perfect timing. Come on, spill it. What went down? There is no way a powerhouse like you suddenly got wrecked. So, who actually did this to you? But check this out right then. Viper spots a weird mark nearby. Her playful look totally vanishes as she examines a fresh burn mark. Pure, Unmixed red flame. No way. Did you seriously pick a fight with Red? And you actually walked away alive from that absolute monster? But seriously, why are you so obsessed with fighting anyway? Seeing you struggle like this is honestly hilarious. I'm dying. That mocking tone just drives Gerard absolutely insane. Shut up. Get lost, he snarls. But remembering Red's terrifying power, Gerard can't help but admit that guy is way too strong to be human. Don't you think he's a total pain? Viper just laughs. A guy who literally burns his own life away just to keep fighting is bound to self-destruct sooner or later. You know what? Why are you dodging my question from earlier? You've already figured it out too, haven't you? The veil covering the Dark Witch's face has finally been lifted. Did you see it right? Do you know how it got opened? If you do, spit it out already. You know exactly what this means for all of us. Gerard just glares at her with pure disgust. You idiot. Do you seriously think I'd tell you? Once the key's identity gets out, I lose. Seeing Gerard refuse to back down, Viper instantly gets annoyed, muttering that he's a total bore. Gerard couldn't care less, and just keeps talking, declaring that he's going to seize the key all by himself. No answer. Viper turns to her sister standing nearby. You know, she sighs, trying to hide a secret that desperately, it only makes it super obvious that you're hiding something shady. You really are an idiot, but whatever. We're going to track it down ourselves anyway. The younger sister standing nearby nods in agreement. You're totally right, sis. We'll find it ourselves and dump this idiot. Meanwhile, Viper keeps spinning her own wild theories. Judging by how he reacted, someone definitely blew their cover, and there is a huge chance this mess is tied to the city folks. So if we keep pulling the strings on these monsters, the clues are bound to slip out. What do you think? She asks her sister. The brat instantly snaps back, fine then. Let us get ready to unleash a massive tide right from the horizon. Blinding beams of light suddenly flash inside the hospital room. Kay is still lying unconscious on the bed, with Red and the squad standing around him. Everyone looks totally stressed out. Red feels incredibly guilty and speaks up. I am seriously sorry, guys. I talked a big game, promising I wouldn't let anyone get badly hurt, but in the end, I broke it. Watching Kay lying still, Red blames himself. Sorry, I take full responsibility for this mess. He squeezes the watch in his hand, thinking whether it's the past or right now. I haven't changed a single bit. Red keeps beating himself up. What kind of hero am I anyway? Elysion immediately shuts him down. Looking at the survival rate of rookies, we've got insanely lucky. Honestly, I think we only made it back safe because of our two captains. Next time I'll get way stronger so I don't hold anyone back. Red gently advises there is no need to rush. Meanwhile, Marine is completely losing her mind. What the hell is going on? I can't believe I am meeting the most famous artist in the city. In a random place like this, they just show up claiming to be Kay's allies. Since only Kay came back totally wrecked, I was worried sick. But thank God they don't look like bad guys. Marine stares at the motionless Kay and sighs seriously. When are you going to wake up, Kay? I can't handle all this stuff alone. The nurse said it's nothing dangerous, and you'll wake up soon. Red suddenly turns and asks, You said your name is Marine, right? Kay's friend? Marine blurted out yes. Red continues like you heard earlier. Don't stress about Kay's condition. Also, I gotta ask, we are looking for a tiny creature named Nero. Have you happened to run into him? Hearing this, Gale's face goes totally blank. He points right at the bed and screams, Look, it's right over there. Nero flinches at being spotted while Gale immediately yells, You little brat. You finally showed your face. Gale quickly tells the captain this guy swallowed the Stella shard. Do you know how hard it was to explain? After you vanished, he immediately lunges forward to grab Nero. Get over here right now. But Nero's way too fast. He easily leaps right over Gale's head and dives into Marine's arms. The whole room suddenly echoes with Gale's pissed-off screaming, You stupid cat. Marine happily hugs Nero, tight Nero. I was so worried. You were hiding in Kay's shadow. Held by Marine, Nero finally calms down. She sighs with relief. Thank goodness you are totally safe. Right then, Red suddenly sensing something familiar. What is this? Is it just my imagination? Wait, hold on. Nero's literally about to spit the star shard out. Marine gapes in total shock, while Gale immediately screams out. What? He actually spat it out. Cian lets out a huge sigh of relief. I was trying to figure out how to dig it out. Red's slowly reaching for the object. A fragment of Stella. He picks it up, thinking we finally found another piece. Thinking about all the major sacrifices made for this thing, inside Kay's mind, memories flash back to his clash with Gerard. Back then, he secretly thought this is too dangerous. Ellie and Gale can't block this thing. Kay quickly makes a move. I've got to step in. Right at that moment, his eyes snap open as he finally wakes up from his coma. Kay sits straight up, gasping for air. Looking at his teammate standing right in front of him, he's completely dazed for a second. Kay asks in confusion, where's that guy gone? He raises his hand to check himself, but then remembers something way more important. Oh man, look at this total panic. Why did his body lose all its color? This is bad. How's he going to explain this without getting kicked out again? Seeing Kay hanging his head, Red immediately tells him, chin up. Did you commit a crime or what? I don't care what you look like. What actually matters is your insane performance during your very first expedition. I didn't expect you to pull off something that crazy. From now on, I'm gonna work you to the bone, so get ready. Welcome to the Red Team, Kay. Hearing those words, Kay is completely shocked, a relieved smile creeping onto his face. Without any hesitation, Kay instantly accepts the offer, yes sir. Red drops one last line before heading out. Looks like we've got the basics down. Keep chatting if you want, then dismiss. I'm off to meet Lady Luminous. Just do whatever you want until we get new orders from the Corps. After Red leaves, the room gets quiet again. Cian finally speaks up. Kay, I know you've got a lot of explaining to do, but I'm not gonna pry. Do you happen to remember anything? I mean, what went down after you passed out? Kay secretly thinks to himself. Captain Red told me to keep that a secret for now, so he just lies to be honest. I don't really remember much. Cian gets him wrong and sighs, all right. I'll let it slide for now. You've probably got your secrets. Kay quickly cuts her off. No. I'm serious. By the way, is there any way to turn black again? Marine says confidently, don't worry. I've actually prepped something for this exact situation. She immediately rummages through her bag. Hold on, I know I put it here. A moment later, Marine pulls out an ink bottle and hands it to Kay. Found it. It's black ink I snatched from the scrapyard. Seeing it, Cian is totally speechless. What on earth is this? It's literally trash, not ink. Why do you even have this dangerous junk? Kay happily takes it and opens the cap. Marine, you're the best. My custom ink. Cian's stunned. Are you for real? This is basically poison. Right under her shocked gaze, Kay chugs the entire thing down. His hair fades back to pitch black as Kay lets out a massive sigh of relief. Finally feeling alive again, he leaps to his feet, totally pumped up, yelling that his recovery is officially complete. Marine keeps teasing that this is barely enough, claiming she has got way more junk piled up at her workshop. Kay looks totally shocked, asking if she is serious, before thanking her. Just then, Gale cuts in, asking if they are done gossiping because he is heading out. But suddenly, his voice starts to trail off, sounding pretty hesitant. He stares at Kay's arm, completely healed and back to normal, utterly baffled. Regenerating lost limbs is supposed to be a high-tier skill that only top healers can pull off. Only top healers can do that. How is this even possible? Gale presses on, raising his voice and demanding that Kay answer his actual question. And you can see the absolute terror still replaying in Gale's head. Why did Kay jump in and risk his life like that back there? Kay stammers, struggling to explain himself. Well, he says, he just felt they were in deep trouble, and he figured his weird power could somehow block the attack. Sure, he failed and almost ruined everything, but Gale doesn't let him finish. Gritting his teeth in pure rage, he grabs Kay by the collar and snaps. Cut the garbage, Gale yells, totally losing his cool. Nobody asked for his help, and honestly, he absolutely hates looking at Kay's stupid face. Kay stands there, completely bewildered by the sudden outburst. Marine immediately jumps in, pointing right at Gale's face and scolding him for acting like a total jerk. Gale just bites his lip, refusing to say another word. He lets go of Kay, leaving his collar torn, and storms out of the room in a massive huff. The two girls are left standing there totally baffled. What is his problem? Marine grumbles, leaving without a word. Elysian just sighs, telling her to let it go. I should get going too, Elysian says. Kay waves politely, thanking her for stopping by. Let us put our match on hold for now, she yells back. Kay and Marine watch her walk away, and then Kay turns to his friend. Let's head back too, Marine. But right then, he suddenly remembers something. Oh wait. He has got this awesome thing he picked up during his crazy adventure. He grabbed it because he knew she would totally geek out over it. Kay pulls a strange device out of his bag and hands it over to her. Marine instantly freezes, staring at the item in total shock. She carefully takes it, examining it closely. Meanwhile, the scene shifts over to Red. He is walking down a brilliant, colorful hallway when he suddenly stops dead in his tracks. He cannot tear his eyes away from what lies ahead. A blinding burst of light flashes, pouring down like a seven-colored rainbow onto a grand stage. Then, a soft, soothing voice echoes through the space. I have arrived, Red calls out. Celestia welcomes him back, saying she has been waiting. Red slowly steps forward, ready to deliver his report. It has been a while since he brought her good news. Just as she predicted, they are finally ready to uncover the secrets of the Dark Witch. Yes, Lady Celestia herself. Bathed in a soft, mysterious glow, she quietly gazes down at Red with an unreadable expression. Back at the workshop, Marine stands in front of a giant pile of machine parts, practically squealing with absolute excitement. This is insane. It is exactly like the ancient text described, she cheers. This is ancient civilization tech. A device that actually runs on ink. The concept is simple, but the efficiency is totally off the charts. Just think about it, it powered those golems. Keeping them running in those ruins for ages with just faded ink is mind-boggling. Kay just rests his chin on his hand, looking completely bored. He shrugs, saying it looks like a regular old power core. Marine snaps back that it is obviously special, pointing out even elite Vanguard guilds cannot find this. They could search ruins for a whole year and find absolutely nothing. She sighs, wishing she lived back in that era, surrounded by legendary, lost technology. Kay is genuinely shocked by that. If it is a super rare ancient relic, it must be worth a fortune. He asks if she is really not going to sell it. Marine huffs at his question. This is why amateurs just do not get it, Kay. You really think a genius techie like me would care about money? Sell it? No way. She has to tear it apart and study it. Besides, she says, brilliant ideas are already sparking in her head. She is going to craft the ultimate custom gear just for him. Holding the relic up, she mutters to herself, figuring out exactly where the ink goes. Seeing her this happy makes Kay feel like all his hard work was totally worth it. He turns to leave the workshop, calling out to Nero. Reaching the door, he looks back and promises to drop by later. But suddenly, Marine gasps like she just remembered something super important. Hey, wait up, Kay! Now that she thinks about it, someone was actually looking for him. Kay blinks in confusion, asking if she is sure. She explains that when she went deep into the shady backstreets to get his recovery ink, she ran into some sketchy guys she thought were thugs. But get this, they knew absolutely everything about them. They blocked her path and demanded to know if she was Marine, Kay's close friend. They demanded to meet the legendary black magic user everyone has been whispering about lately. That is exactly what they told her, Marine warns. Sensing major danger, she immediately slipped away. Hearing this, Kay completely panics, scolding her for being so reckless since he specifically told her never to go there alone. Marine mutters that she knows, but it was an emergency. Kay sighs, giving her a very serious look. If she sees anyone sketchy, she needs to stay far away. Marine just waves him off, telling him to get home safe. Outside, Kay feels uneasy. But local security is pretty tight, so he doubts anything too crazy will happen. Besides, since those shady guys are clearly targeting him, they will probably track him down eventually anyway. Walking down the street alone, he lets out a heavy sigh. Realizing he has not been home in ages, he just wants to collapse into his bed. But as he heads back, he hesitates, looking down a dark alley. He has noticed way more sketchy wanderers lingering around the streets lately. It is getting pretty crowded out here. If those underground thugs are creeping up to the surface, something really bad must be going down below. Seeing a few guys heading his way, Kay wonders if some crazy drama just went down. He is even worried. A massive turf war has broken out between the local gangs. Just then, Nero freaks out and dives inside his cloak. Kay looks down, confused, asking what is wrong. He glances toward the dark alley next to them and asks what is over there. Is something inside that alley, Nero? You know going deep into these back streets is super dangerous. Seeing Nero completely against it, Kay gives in. Fine. I will go check it out. He trusts his pet's instincts. Since Nero is always on point, Kay realizes he might have been way too careless. Something major is definitely hiding over there, and he wants to use this chance. He wants to test the training method he has been practicing. Just like channeling that dark energy around his fists, he now concentrates all his power right into his two eyes. In the past, Kay's vision had randomly changed, letting him spot things that normal people could never see. If he can trigger that exact feeling on command, this visual ability will definitely be insanely useful for scouting out enemies in the dark. Kay activates his inverted vision, instantly hyping himself up when he realizes it worked. He slips quietly into the narrow alleyway. Inside, he spots a mysterious figure glowing with all kinds of wild colors, and he instantly freezes in pure shock. No way, someone's actually here. He calls out, "Hey, who is that?" But the figure suddenly bolts, throwing Kay completely off guard. Kay chases after them and yells, "Hey, wait." He suspects this person might be the exact guy searching for him. If that is true, he cannot lose them. He cannot let this shady character get away. For Marine's safety, Kay has to corner them and force out their real identity. No joke, guys, the tight alley vanishes, replaced by a massive, endless space right before his eyes. He is totally clueless. Just a second ago, this place was clearly a tight alley. Turning around, he loses it. The alleyway is literally dissolving into nothing, and the entrance is completely gone. Suddenly, Celestia's voice rings out from behind you. Really are interesting, aren't you? I did not plan on showing up yet. Be proud, tracking me down is not an easy job. Kay spins around, but the brilliant beams of light shooting from her body make him jump. Curious, Kay asks, "Who are you?" Celestia just smiles and introduces herself. "Nice to meet you, child of darkness." Then she drops her name, "I am Celestia." Kay is absolutely stunned. He stares at the colors radiating from her. Out of everyone he knows, only one person has the power to flex this kind of light, so she is the current Luminous, the big boss of this city. But Kay cannot understand her reasons. Why would a high-tier leader like her personally seek him out? Even worse, why was she secretly tracking him? Right then, those familiar sounds hit him again. That creepy familiar voice echoes inside his head, desperately begging, "I want that light." And countless shadowy hands start stretching out toward Celestia. They keep crying out, "I want it, swallow it up, devour that light right now." Celestia notices Kay's weird state. She watches him, asking, "Whoa, you are covered in darkness. What is this? I did not even do anything." I heard about this from Red, but seeing it in person is way cooler. Honestly, I am surprised you still stay sane. Even with darkness taking over, you did not turn into a monster. Seriously, guys, there is a weird link between them. The other leaders wanted to eliminate you, but I am not down for that. The fact you survived without getting completely eaten by the dark is crazy. It proves your potential is off the charts, and your power is too valuable. To protect this city, we cannot afford to be picky with our resources. If we can weaponize dark magic, we have to do it. High risk, high reward, right? So, Let's have a little chat first. Celestia's light flares out, instantly purifying the dark energy wrapping around Kay. His face goes completely pale. That voice just now was louder than ever. It sounded way clearer than before. Intrigued, Celestia asks, "Really?" Now I am curious. What kind of voice is it? Are you hearing the Dark Witch's call? Kay is still totally lost. He can only answer honestly, "I do not know. It is just some weird whispering in my head." Celestia calms him down. "No need to stress. I just wanted to meet you after Red's report. First, on behalf of the city, I want to thank you." Kay hesitates and asks, "Wait, what did I even do for the city?" Celestia pulls out a star fragment and hands it over to him. Acknowledging his help, she says hardly anyone knows how important this tiny fragment actually is to our city. Since you went and recovered this precious light, you totally deserve all the praise. Kay acts humble, saying it was actually a team effort. Celestia gets it and says, "Right, you mean the expedition with Red's squad? I know that. But the main thing here is different. You literally broke the Dark Witch's barrier. Do you not realize how insane that is? Even a luminous like me cannot pull that off, since the only person who can break it is the Dark Witch herself. Star fragments are scattered across the dark lands, but most are sealed away by her barriers. Because of those barriers, we have constantly been fighting off the dark minions just to secure any fragments we can find. Up until now, we only got lucky finding a few pieces outside the barriers." Kay starts putting things together but still asks her, "I get it, but why explain all this to me? I do not even know what those pieces do. What are they that make Captain Red and you care so much?" Celestia rubs her chin, thinking it over, before speaking up. "Right, I should have explained that first. Seeing is believing. Do not go spilling this secret to anyone, okay? Only a small group in the city knows." Suddenly, the space surrounding them starts to distort. Then they warp to a totally different spot. Kay gasps in shock, but Celestia calmly tells him to keep his cool. "It is just my place," she says. "You are the first one I have shown this to. Feel honored, kid." Holding up the Stella shard, she tells him to watch closely as brightness blooms from the dark. Then, a massive pillar of light shoots up. Kay stands frozen, staring blankly at the brilliant glow. He can only watch as the light keeps spreading everywhere. It reaches way up, stealing his gaze. He is totally hooked, unable to look away. His voice starts shaking. "No way," he stammers. The light forces the black mist back, and Kay finally realizes what is happening. The dark soil is actually retreating. And just like that, the pitch black is totally wiped clean. Talk about a massive win. Over in the streets, a kid runs around screaming the news. "Breaking news. Listen up. Lady Luminous just pushed back the dark soil and reclaimed our lands." Reading the newspapers, citizens gather to gossip. "Was that crazy light yesterday really Lady Luminous? This is unreal. She actually beat back the dark soil. It is a straight-up miracle. Reclaiming human land for the first time in decades. Bright City is going to expand now, so we are safe from those monsters, right?" "Exactly. And this is only the start. The day we win back all the dark soil is coming. Wonder what Lady Luminous is like, though. I heard she barely shows face. No clue. But she is always protecting the city. Whatever, we have got plenty of brand new opportunities now. New lands mean rare resources and ink. Word is some clan is forming a new Vanguard team. Better invest fast to secure the bag. Wait, going solo is tough. We need to team up." Kay stands there in the crowd, holding the paper. He thinks it is wild how the entire city got this hyped up in just one day. Honestly, makes sense after yesterday. Suddenly, he remembers what Celestia said. Did he see how that star fragment unlocks so many things? What he brought back is insane. He has to stay sharp, because the Dark Hand is after those shards too. Once they find out about his power, they will hunt him down. But he should not stress. The city has kept them away for ages. If they show up, she will protect him. Sucks though, she wants to back him up, but the city is burning through resources just to survive. They are pushed way past their limits. Even she is pouring all her energy into holding back the encroaching dark soil. She cannot leave her post for long. K is too special, and people will either fear his power or try to exploit it. She will prevent any unexpected accidents. For now, he just needs to keep acting like a normal Vanguard. All right, time to head back. Good talk, and do not worry. She will make sure the team of Red gets a seriously fat reward. Back in reality, Kay stares at his hand and sighs. Guess he should get moving on his day off. What is next? He remembers the ink for Marine is bone dry, which had her totally bummed out lately. Since he is free, he decides to harvest some. While wandering around to mine some ink, he accidentally ends up at the colorist main headquarters. Staring up at the massive building, his mind wanders. Kay gets hit with nostalgia. Back when he was a colorless nobody, he could not even come near this place. But today, he walks right in with his head high. And watch this, the second he steps up to the entrance, eyes lock onto him. The crowd immediately starts whispering. Who is that? Is he the black-colored guy? Turns out the rumors are actually true. Seeing him up close, he looks even gloomier. Pretty interesting. But honestly, he just gives me the chills. What was the Dawn Vanguard even thinking? What can a black color even do? Heard he did big things on his very first mission. Anyone know the details? Beats me. But word is he gets a huge award. How did he even impress Red? He is pitch black. Up on the balcony, Red looks down with a smirk. Interesting, Red smirks. Lavin notices his partner reacting and asks what he is doing. Stop acting like a kid and sit down. But he shoots back, admitting he is super curious about the rookie Red handpicked. Arancia, you were there too, right? Is he actually as good as they say? Arancia calmly replies that he is pretty impressive, but he is also a bit unstable. We definitely need to watch him. Hearing this only makes Red even more hyped. A standout rookie indeed, the black-colored K. Right then, the receptionist greets him. Asking if it is his first time there, K quickly nods, saying he is down to try absolutely any job. She smiles warmly, noting he does not have his official badge yet. She asks him to fill out some paperwork first. Low-level quests like mining ink or clearing out weak pests are perfect for newbies. But as K signs up, some jerks nearby glare at him. Look at that gross color. Disgusting, Crush sneers, gritting his teeth. How does anyone end up with that color anyway? Is he even human? Krot turns to his buddy and keeps trash talking. Why are those idiots acting like he is some big deal? Don't you agree, big bro? Manvik just grunts back. Manvik is totally pissed off just looking at Kay. That dark kid is an eyesore. I hated him since that dispatch mission. That trash got lucky. He just got noticed by some fancy colorist. Seriously. I do not get it at all. Why is a total nobody strolling around like nothing? He is just a clueless rookie with zero experience. It makes no sense. Even a veteran B tier like me is barely enough to join. The more Manvik fumes, the angrier he gets. So he grabs his goons to find Kay. He barks out orders to follow him. We cannot let some trash color pollute our city. Let us clean him up for real. Cut to another spot. Kay holds a black stone in his hand. He cheers with pure excitement. This is absolutely awesome. He found another piece. Raw color stones. He has never scored this many before, especially since everyone else is struggling. Mining output is dropping lately. Since these are used for fuel or ink weapons, he can easily sell them for a great price. Marine is going to be so hyped when she sees this. With my eye, grabbing resources is stupidly easy, even in the dark. He spots them easily. Though it drains color fast, it works. He tells his pet, Nero, looks like you do not need to do anything. But get this, Kay finishes his stuff way earlier than expected. Heading back right now is pretty risky. Going back early might attract some unwanted attention. So he decides to just hang around for a bit and kill some time. He figures it is time to practice that skill he has been putting off. First up is his main power, color absorbing. Right now, Kay only pulls off this power by directly touching his target. Plus, it sometimes goes wild even when he has zero intention of using it. To survive the future, he absolutely needs to master this crap. Staring at the glowing stone in his hand, Kay keeps his spirits high. It looks super bright and pretty pricey. But suddenly, the power in his hand reacts with the rock. Kay freaks out in pure panic. "Stop eating my precious cash." He yells at his hand, but then he realizes he actually felt something this time, reminding him of his past slip-ups. Kay notices something. The brighter and crazier the colors are, the easier it is for his power to go completely rogue, making it impossible to control. This is especially true when those creepy whispers start up. He has no clue if finding the source of this is a blessing or a curse. From now on, he must stay sharp so his own crazy power does not consume him. He continues to ponder the colors he absorbed. They all seem to bleed together and turn black. But since every color has its own unique trait, he cannot help but wonder, can he weaponize them in a different way? If he thinks about it, black is literally made from all colors combined. Maybe Kay is like Lady Luminous, possessing the wild ability to control every single color, but he quickly snaps back to reality. Telling himself to focus, he tries to channel that warm red color from Brother Red. Is this hot feeling the key? It literally feels like his entire body is burning up. This is not going to be easy at all, so he plans to practice until the sun goes down. Once it gets dark, Kay packs up his loot and starts heading back. The heavy bag on his shoulders feels like a literal boulder. He feels like he is dragging a mountain. Suddenly, a group blocks his path, and one of them steps up with a cold sneer. They finally cornered the slow bastard. Standing right in the middle of the road is none other than Manvik and his annoying gang. Glaring at Kay with pure trash talk in his eyes, he mocks him. He did not expect to run into the city celebrity. He sneers that it is nice to meet him. Meanwhile, Kay stands there completely lost, wondering who these random clowns even are. Now look at this. These lowlifes block the road. As Chris smirks and starts trash talking about how they have been waiting for him forever. Chris thought the kid was hiding in some corner. But Kay just stands there calmly as the guy rants about respecting your elders. Kay just squints and asks who they are. This immediately makes Chris lose his mind, screaming, "Who do you think we are, you idiot?" He glares at the heavy bag slung over Kay's shoulder, telling him to stop playing dumb and hand over all of his loot right now. Chris notices the bag is literally glowing with rare color ore. Seeing all those valuable items, he excitedly turns to his boss, reporting they hit the jackpot. He tells the boss that Kay has some seriously good stuff. Manvik smirks with interest, saying that is absolutely perfect. He squints at Kay with sharp eyes, asking where a complete rookie like him got the secret info to score this much crazy luck. Keeping it all to himself is just greedy. Manvik's eyes twist with greed as he warns Kay that a little pressure will make him talk. He threatens that he will find his secret mining spot anyway. Then he orders his boys to teach Kay a lesson, so he does not try to resist. Chris smirks and says they have got this. He warns Kay to just take the hit because it is only going to be a friendly warning. He steps up, saying they are not responsible if Kay dies. But Kay ignores the threat and just slowly slides the heavy bag off his shoulder. He places it on the ground. That extremely chill reaction actually catches Chris off guard, leaving him pretty confused. He walks over, bends down to open the bag, and asks if the kid is seriously giving up without a fight. Chris smirks and says that is how an obedient boy behaves. But before he can even finish, a brutal fist lands on his face. Manvik is totally shocked as he looks over to see Kay standing perfectly still, while Chris is already flat on the ground from that punch. One guy eats dirt, and the other two completely lose it, screaming out, "You bastard, what the hell are you doing?" Kay calmly clenches his fist and replies with a shrug that fake pioneers or not, trash like them always pops up. Then, looking up, he delivers a cold warning. "Stop wasting my time and just come at me together. Marine is waiting for me." Cross immediately pulls a blade and charges, screaming insults. "You dead dog!" As the blade thrusts toward him, Kay smoothly ducks low, easily dodging the lethal tip. He parries hard, throwing the guy completely off balance before hammering a brutal punch straight into God's face. The impact is completely insane, sending the guy crashing into the cliff, instantly shattering the solid stone wall behind him. Suddenly, a loud shout echoes from behind, catching Kay off guard as one of Manvik's lackeys takes advantage of the opening to strike. He tries a cheap sneak attack from behind, but K reacts instantly, catching the fist barehanded before the goon can even register what happened. With a brutal twist of his wrist, K snaps the guy's arm back and simultaneously sweeps his supporting leg with a heavy kick. The goon crashes to the dirt, completely terrified, while K clenches his fist and lunges forward, focusing all his energy into a devastating final blow. Giving him absolutely zero time to react, K drives his fist down, slamming the guy's head straight into the dirt. K stands up, dusts off his hands, and sighs, muttering that greedy people always pay a heavy price. He figures there is only one final guy left to handle, but the moment he turns around, his eyes instantly widen in pure shock at what is coming. A glowing red bullet screams toward him at insane speed. Talk about close calls. He barely tilts his body to dodge the shot. The bullet tears past and drills a deep hole right into the cliff behind him, leaving K breathing a heavy sigh of relief. Having survived by a hair, he realizes from that insane piercing power that his opponent is using a highly dangerous long-range weapon. Across the clearing, a thin trail of smoke rises from the barrel as Manvik smirks with absolute smug satisfaction. Clicking his tongue, he sneers, "You actually dodged that? Too bad. I wanted to end you with one shot because I hated your face from day one. I always wanted to join an S-Class Pioneer Squad, and trust me, that is not a place just any random loser can get into. But then I hear a trashy black color user like you got in so easily, just because some elite colorist backed you. The first black color user? Give me a break. I do not get it. Why are those high and mighty colorists so obsessed with a guy who wields such a disgusting, trashy color? Well, I changed my mind. I was just going to break a few of your bones, but since you trashed my boys like this, things have changed. I am going to end you right here. Nobody ever finds out what happens outside the city anyway." With that, Manvik pulls the trigger. He fires a rapid barrage of bullets, forcing K to constantly weave side to side while activating his high-speed movement technique. Sprinting straight ahead to close the gap, K suddenly drops low to the ground the second he gets close enough. Sliding fast to the side, he slips right through the heavy gunfire, clenches his fist, and locks his eyes onto Manvik. K throws a vicious punch straight at his face, and though Manvik's face is twisted in panic, the guy barely tilts his head to dodge. Barely avoiding the hit, the villain raises his gun, firing point blank and completely forcing K onto the defensive. Manvik screams in pure rage, yelling at him to back off because he is so annoying, before suddenly pointing his gun down and firing rapidly. And look at this, massive crystals instantly sprout from the bullet holes, pointing their razor-sharp edges right at K as he watches in disbelief. Worry flashes through K's eyes. He has no idea why the guy shot the ground, since normal bullets could never do this. A normal shot cannot cause this. But Manvik proudly boasts that his special color allows him to crystallize rubies and deadly bloodstones. Sure, it is a basic power, but with this custom-made gun, I can easily manufacture all kinds of dangerous specialized ammo. As long as my color doesn't fade from overuse, my ammo is literally infinite. Compare that to your trashy color. Your black color is pure garbage. You do not stand a chance against me. Suddenly, a massive web of bullets fires toward K. He is forced to dive behind massive boulders to survive, silently cursing because that custom weapon is a total nightmare to deal with. Judging by how this guy fights and uses his power, K figures he is at least a B-rank pioneer. His personality is complete trash, but his raw combat power is absolutely no joke. K clenches his fists as black energy starts swirling around him. He really wants to try absorbing those incoming bullets, but even wrapping himself in darkness might not be enough right now. One reckless mistake here could easily end in a fatal blow. While he frantically tries to think of a way out, time is running short. Suddenly, one of the defeated lackeys grabs him from behind. K spins his head around in absolute shock, gasping out, "What?" Even Manvik is stunned by this move. On the other side, K is kicking wildly at the goon, yelling at him to let go. K thrashes around frantically, screaming at the guy to let go, but the desperate goon holds on tight despite the brutal beating, shrieking out to his boss to shoot him now. Manvik laughs with pure, twisted excitement, praising his lackey before raising his barrel straight at K, pulling the trigger and screaming for him to die. Pinned down and unable to move, K can only watch with wide eyes as the blazing red bullet screams directly toward him. A split second later, the bullet tears right through his head. Manvik goes wild, laughing that he hit the jackpot. But wait, K just slips his foot back slightly. He stands completely still, body barely swaying, refusing to drop. Manvik freezes. Seeing this weird black goo slowly dripping down K's head, the dude completely loses his mind and screams, "What? How are you still standing?" Manvik stutters, completely freaked out. K just takes a slow breath as the forehead wound begins to spin. It acts like a miniature black hole, eating up the leftover energy. He lets out a quiet sigh, thinking he got pretty lucky. If he had messed up absorbing that round, he would be dead right now. Meanwhile, Manvik just stares blankly, muttering to himself in absolute terror. "No way. I literally shot him in the brain," he whines. K looks up with absolute ice in his eyes. "You're dead meat," K warns. Terrified out of his mind, Manvik starts desperately spraying bullets, screaming like a lunatic. "Die, you monster, die." Red-hot rounds fly everywhere, but K just stands there like he's waiting for a bus. He takes the hits head-on as a pitch-black armor creeps over his skin, leaving Manvik shaking in his boots. "Why'd you stop? Keep shooting." K mocks him. "Isn't this your ultimate move?" By now, he's totally cloaked in a thick, menacing dark fog. The heavy, oppressive pressure suffocates the room. He takes one slow step forward, dropping a cold declaration, "You're done shooting. My turn now, right?" Manvik completely loses his grip, screaming that this makes absolutely zero sense. "There's no way you walked off my armor-piercing shot. You're just putting on a show. You think I'm some idiot who falls for cheap tricks? Even if you block the hit, your insides must be totally scrambled by now. As long as I hold this weapon, you're still dead meat. You're still just my target." K sighs, unimpressed. Sure, the gun's useless now, but this absorption skill burns through his own color reserves at a crazy rate. The payoff's great, but the risk is just too high. Keep this up, and his color gauge is gonna hit absolute zero in no time. "Check this out," K just points his hand right at him, asking to borrow his skill as if it's no big deal. "Mind if I borrow this?" K asks. "What?" Manvik gasps. As black energy starts swirling in K's palm, "Your ability. I wanted to copy it." Right on cue, a wicked, pitch-black spear forms right out of his hand. Manvik's eyes go wide as saucers, completely stunned. K just chuckles, noting that it actually worked. "Honestly, I've only used my fists until now, but this totally covers my weak spot. Crystallizing my own energy after absorbing yours is pretty insane. I had a feeling this would work," K says, winding up to throw. "Appreciate the free demo, man." He hurls the dark spear at lightning speed. Manvik barely ducks out of the way. Panic finally setting in deep. He aims and frantically sprays more lead, screaming curses. K doesn't even bother dodging, just taking them like a champ. He summons another sharp spear with his free hand, mocking him. "I literally told you that stuff is useless. Since we're already going at it, congrats on becoming my new training dummy." Boom, K vanishes into thin air. He teleports right in front of Manvik, slamming his dark spear down as violent shockwaves of black energy erupt. Manvik's jaw drops. How is he copying my exact skills? K just smirks, ready to switch things up. "Let's try a different shape," K says. The black energy shapes into a massive blade as he charges forward. With one brutal swing, K slices the gun clean in half. Manvik's jaw drops as his prized weapon falls to pieces. "No way," he stutters, staring in sheer disbelief at the dark smoke rising from the ruined metal. "My gun," he screams. His brain's completely fried. How did a single strike slice through steel without any special tricks? Seriously, can you blame him for being terrified? He's staring at this pitch-black shadow demon who's totally rewriting the rules of combat. He can only curse this absolute lunatic. Meanwhile, K complains out loud about his skill draining too much energy. He barely even used it. Oh well, with cheat-level destructive power, a high cost is pretty fair. K throws out a savage taunt. "No gun left, huh? Bring it on barehanded." Though we both know it won't do much. Manvik snaps, fiery aura exploding from his skin as he screams at K not to look down on his Class B status. "You think I'm just some gunslinger? My color creates absolute raw rubies and hematite. I don't even need that stupid gun anymore." I'll rip you apart barehanded. He summons a massive wave of energy, manifesting giant jagged rubies aiming right for Kay. Giant gems rain down like a deadly storm, forcing Kay to throw up a defensive stance. But the kid stays chill. Staring down the incoming barrage, he wraps black energy around his wrist, instantly expanding it into a massive, solid dark shield. This solid wall blocks Manvik's ruby storm completely, keeping his entire body perfectly safe from the impact. Suddenly, Kay bursts forward at crazy speed, using his shield as a battering ram to close the distance. He tears straight through the barrage, cornering Manvik, who's absolutely terrified of this insane power. Kay pulls his fist back. He winds up a nasty left hook straight into the ribs. The impact makes Manvik scream in pure agony. He spits up a mouthful of blood, veins popping on his face. Kay grabs his collar and hoists him up. Spinning fast, Kay clamps his free hand onto Manvik's shoulder. Boom! He slams him hard onto the ground, leaving him flat on his back. Coughing and hacking, he spits out even more blood. Kay stares down and growls. Want some more? I am busy. Stop wasting my time. Manvik screams in absolute terror. How does a rookie Vanguard have this kind of insane power? This is impossible. It makes no sense at all. Kay just shrugs. Is that all? Manvik instantly calls him a monster, and those words make Kay freeze up for a second. Shaking all over, the guy spits out, "You disgust me. Born black. Your creepy power is completely twisted and abnormal, and I hate it. Anyone can see it. Do you never feel it? Walking around confident with that pitch-black trash look. It is just wrong." He keeps throwing toxic insults, mocking him relentlessly. He is not even human. Just a straight-up monster wearing a cheap human skin, claiming Kay is barely human. Suddenly, that pitch-black energy surges again, completely wrapping his body. This bizarre silence really terrifies Manvik. Look at his face, this is where things get terrifying. He slowly lowers his head, showing a totally blank, cold expression. His eyes turn dead, filled with pure bloodlust. Those black voids look like they could swallow the whole room, terrifying Manvik to his core. With his face completely twisted in fear and speechless, Kay suddenly chuckles. What was that? You were talking so big when you first jumped me. Why is only your mouth working now? Manvik shivers, his face turning pale. Kay tightens his grip on the collar, saying whatever. I get how you feel. Since you seem so damn interested in my power, why do not I show you? Manvik gasps in terror. What are you talking about? Kay replies coldly. You wanted to steal my stuff, so it is only fair I take something back from you, right? Just keeping things balanced. Manvik only manages to scream a desperate plea to stop before Kay unleashes his full, devastating wrath on him. Sitting on top of the beaten, limp bodies, Kay rests his chin on his hand, thinking deeply. He suddenly scratches his cheek with a sigh. He grunts softly, knitting his brows as if facing a massive, annoying headache. After thinking it over for a long while, Kay smacks his forehead, sighing in exhaustion. What should I do? I planned on just leaving them here, but ignoring them might cause major trouble later. Right now, people only stare out of curiosity because of my new color. But most of them find this black power totally disgusting or terrifying. Kay looks around, wondering, what if I drain their color and leave them to die? If word gets out, everyone will treat me like some color-stealing freak, just a monster sucking the color out of people. Suddenly, Kay snaps up, shoving his hand inside his cloak to search for something. He groans out loud in pure frustration. There is no way I can just leave them like this. I did not come all this way for nothing. I am not returning empty-handed, so I have got to do something. Moments later, he pulls out a small bottle filled with a red liquid. He smirks triumphantly. Found it. I knew a B-rank guy would be carrying his own personal color ink. They always have this stuff on them. Kay grabs one guy's jaw, snapping at him to open up. He then dumps the red liquid straight down the poor guy's throat. Nero stands nearby, smack-slapping the guy's head with his paws. The victim instantly scowls, coughing and spluttering like crazy. Once he finishes the first one, Kay forces the rest of the gang to chug the liquid, watching their bodies closely. As their skin color slowly shifts, he mutters that their ink is finally restoring from the inside out. Suddenly, a grunt echoes from the rocks. Hey, open your mouth too. Oh, trying to crawl away? Then, the scene cuts. Over to the bustling east gate of Light City, crowds are jamming the entrance, and a guard stands watch, keeping a close eye on everything. He spots a beaten-up group tied up together on the ground. As he notices the weirdly fading patchy colors on the prisoners' bodies, and get this, the guards are completely losing their minds. Why are they fading out? Did they use up all their color in the Black Lands? Wasting no time, the guard quickly turns to his partner and barks at them to contact the guildmaster as fast as possible. Meanwhile, Kay slips into the massive crowd entering the city, letting out a quiet sigh of relief. Thank goodness I did not get caught. Seeing those guys recover some color makes Kay absolutely sure of his choice. Forcing them to drink that personal ink was definitely the right call. This should be enough to clear me, and if things get worse, the captain will back me up. Passing the gates, Kay bolts straight for Marine's workshop. Inside, she is busy crafting until she hears a loud shout echoing from the street. Someone is yelling her name outside. Marine swings the door open and locks eyes with Kay. Where on earth have you been for the past few days without leaving a single word? Kay just drops his massive sack onto the floor, flashing a bright grin as he replies, My bad. I was finishing a request from the guildmaster. Hearing this, Marine arches an eyebrow in curiosity. Did something awesome happen? Kay lowers his voice, playing it super mysterious. You are going to flip when you see this. He tears the sack open to reveal dazzling, vibrant stones. Marine completely freezes in shock. Her jaw hits the floor as she gasps, Is this color ore? How on earth did you get so much? Kay shrugs casually. Just some leftovers from the job. Brought them back since I was thinking of you. She is absolutely thrilled. Marine instantly jumps up and wraps her arms around Kay, shouting that he is absolutely the best. Seeing her get this hyped, Kay is actually pretty surprised and asks if she is really that happy about it. Without missing a beat, Marine says of course she is, thanking him and promising to put them to good use. But right then, Kay notices a weird glow starting to radiate from her hair. It is a super faint light. Kay just stares. It is sparkling again, just like before, even if it is only for a brief moment. Look at that golden light radiating off her right now. It completely locks in Kay's attention. And honestly, the sheer warmth of it is just unreal. Does she always shine like this inside? Memories flash. Yes, she always did. That warm color matches her. Marine always brightens up everything around her. Even though they both grew up in the sketchiest, darkest corners of this city, she always found a reason to smile when things got rough. She always comforted others, even when they were both stuck in the dark. That golden color honestly fits her perfectly. But while Kay is completely lost in his thoughts, Marine suddenly calls his name, snapping him right back to reality. She claps her hands, telling him she is ready. She tells him she cannot just keep taking gifts from him forever, so she wants him to come to her workshop. She wanted to surprise him later, but she is showing him right now. Kay gets super hyped and asks what she is talking about. Marine tells him to stay calm and not freak out, because she is working on something big. She reveals she is making a custom dropper just for him. Kay completely freezes. Wait, what? Is she serious? Marine proudly puts her hands on her hips with a smug grin. She boasts about making huge progress while he was gone. Then she crouches down next to her bag of colored ore, staring at all the raw materials inside with a massive smile on her face. With these babies, she can boost his stats however she wants. Now she is just wondering what cool stuff she should craft with the rest of the leftover materials. But right in the middle of her brainstorming, the main doors slam open. A familiar face steps inside the shop. Seeing Kay, the newcomer shouts that they heard he got back from the dark territory and knew he would be here. Kay spins around, completely caught off guard, stuttering out his question. He asks what they are even doing here. Noting the pretty intense glares on Elysienne and Gale, Kay immediately puts his guard up and tells them to watch their step. He warns them not to start any fights or say anything sketchy. Ellie Cian just scoffs, telling him she is down to throw hands if he really wants to. Kay quickly shuts that down, saying no thanks. Ellie Cian smirks, teasing him that Gale has been training like crazy just to beat him in their next clash. Gale snaps at her to mind her own business and just deliver the message already. Rolling her eyes, Ellie Cian finally stops messing around and gets down to business. She seriously tells them the Dawn Vanguard summoned them because Lady Luminous herself praised their latest mission achievements. They need to head to headquarters for their reward. Marine gasps, completely shocked to hear Lady Luminous's name, and immediately starts shoving Kay toward the exit. She tells him this is massive news and he needs to move. Kay hesitates, trying to argue that she still had that surprise she wanted to show him. Marine insists he can see it later. Just go, have fun. It will be ready when he gets back. Kay smiles. He tells her he cannot wait to see it. Leaving the shop behind, Kay, Ellie, Cian, and Gale make their way directly to the Dawn Vanguard headquarters. Lavian politely steps out to greet the trio, telling them she has been waiting for their arrival and asking them to follow her inside. She leads them down a massive hallway. Walking through, Kay keeps looking around at the grand interior, taking in his very first look at this place. He realized this is the legendary Dawn Vanguard headquarters. Since he never got to visit before, the grand interior and all the displays of past Vanguard achievements completely blow him away. They finally stop right in front of a pair of large doors. Lavian gestures for them to enter, prompting Kay to tell himself to stay sharp for whatever comes next. Time to focus. The heavy doors slide open, revealing a young woman waiting behind her desk, who speaks the moment they enter. She welcomes them, calling them the famous rookies from all those wild rumors, before introducing herself as Camellia, the grand leader of the Dawn Vanguard. Kay freezes up, completely speechless. He cannot believe he is actually standing in front of the legendary leader, one of the elite few in the city who can manipulate multiple colors. Can you blame him? He is literally standing in front of a living legend he only ever read about in the gossip columns. Camellia picks up her coffee cup and gives them a warm, friendly smile to help them relax, telling them there is absolutely no need to be so nervous. She says she brought them here for a good reason, admitting she was pretty shocked when that stubborn red guy actually praised a group of fresh rookies, especially Kay, the very first user of the black color, whose mere existence already has all the city officials shaking in their boots with pure anxiety. She had some very good reasons to bring him here personally. Finishing her sentence, she slowly raises her coffee cup and takes a nice long sip, but she instantly spits it back, complaining it is way too bitter. She whines at Lavian, reminding her she wanted something sweet like cocoa. Seeing her boss act like a total kid, Lavian just sighs helplessly, reminding her leader that the rookies are watching and she needs to save some face. Camellia immediately coughs and locks back into serious mode. Clearing her throat, she gets straight to the point, announcing it is time to hand out the rewards for their dangerous mission. She slides across some personal Vanguard Vault tokens issued by the high-ups, telling them to go ahead and take a look inside. Their base salaries and massive bonuses for this job have already been loaded, so they should check the numbers. Lavian brings over a tray carrying 3 sleek metal cards. Ellie, Cian, Kay, and Gale each pick up their cards to inspect them, while Camellia keeps explaining. Because the Dawn Vanguard personally backs their credit, they can withdraw their cash from literally any bank throughout the entire city. The moment they see the balance on the cards, all 3 scream out in pure disbelief. Kay panics, wondering if this insane amount is actually real money. He could buy a whole house with this kind of cash. Meanwhile, Camellia points to another wooden tray on her desk to introduce their next prize. And here are your C-rank Pathfinder badges specially handed over to you rookies because you actually proved you have got some real skills and achievements to show off. So yeah, we are skipping the whole rookie training phase. These badges will score you some pretty sweet perks all over the city and inside the main assembly hall. Use them well. Plus, the legendary Palette Workshop actually agreed to personally craft custom gear pieces just for you guys. Customized exactly how you want. Gale immediately blurts out, "Wait, seriously?" Ellie Cian is totally blown away too, since even the high and mighty nobles can barely get an appointment with that workshop. Camellia just grins, "Don't sweat it. Our Dawn Legion is basically a top-tier VIP client over there. That place is crucial for prepping all the gear for colorists." You guys are getting your custom drippers straight from the absolute best workshop in this entire shining city. You guys know where it is, right? Just head over to the Lumina district in a bit, and you will spot it easily. Elysion is honestly losing her mind with excitement. This is a massive upgrade. Gale is totally hyped, saying this is exactly what he always wanted, and thanking Camellia like crazy. She looks at the three of them getting dead serious. Better late than never. So let me officially welcome you guys to our crazy Pathfinder family. We will back you up against the Dark Lands. We need all the muscle we can get. And honestly, you guys probably figured this next part out already. Watch closely. Let's talk about that new fragment we just brought back. It is a crazy important artifact that literally holds the key to whether our entire city survives or burns. Camellia's weird eyes, one shining gold, the other a bright pink, seem to radiate this trippy, almost hypnotic energy that is hard to explain. She wraps up the meeting with a smirk. All right, I am really looking forward to seeing what kind of chaos you guys stir up out there. Once the boring paperwork is done at headquarters, Kay splits from the rest of the crew and starts heading back home. On the street, he is just chilling and chatting with his little pet beast, Nero. Man, today was a massive win, right? I cannot believe I got promoted. Jumping straight to C rank is wild. Becoming a Pathfinder was definitely the best call ever. Kay picks up the pace, rushing back to the shop. He is literally grinning, wondering if Marine is going to freak out with joy when he tells her the news. But the second he gets close to the shop, he realizes something is dead wrong. The front door is wide open. Kay pushes inside, calling out for Marine, but whatever he expected to find, this is not it. The place is completely trashed. It looks like some psycho came in and smashed every single thing to pieces, leaving junk scattered all over the floor. Kay is completely frozen, absolute dread starting to creep up his spine. Then, the scene cuts to the dead of night at some dark outpost. Alarms and explosions are blasting from the barracks. This is the frontline outpost guarding the eastern border of our shining city. Some commander is screaming out orders. We have got a massive wave of dark land beasts incoming, so focus all fire on the big one first. The squad unleashes absolute hell. Firepower is focused onto this massive, two-horned monstrosity. One terrified soldier asks how long this insane monster raid is going to last, but her partner just snaps back, "Keep your head in the game, they are charging." Floating high above, this tiny figure is just chilling and watching the brutal, bloody clash down below. Swinging her tiny legs, Viper just cackles at the chaos. Yeah, keep struggling, losers. If you cannot even handle this weak trash, you are hopeless. Talk about a letdown. This is way too easy. The chaos the Dark Witch planned is supposed to be way bigger than this little skirmish. Baiting these useless small fry is just wasting my precious time. But then, she gets a wicked idea. If they really want to crush this pathetic city, we need a killer move to finish them off. Viper's eyes turn ice cold as she stares right at the city walls. She smirks and decides she is going to sneak inside. The sword demon standing nearby nearly chokes. Wait, you are going inside the city? Are you completely insane or just suicidal? Viper just bursts out laughing. Seriously, what kind of stupid question is that? Did your brain melt or something? Guess it won't hurt to tell you. There's a dark secret hiding right under that bright city of theirs. Secret tunnels run straight from the dark lands right into town. They are tight, but they work. And we found some pretty crazy stuff down there. Ever heard of the Undercity? Meanwhile, back at the shop, total mess. Kay is standing there in shock. He yells out for Marine, but nothing. He starts tearing the place apart, checking every single corner. He kicks open her bedroom door, nothing. Just empty space. The guy is totally devastated. She is not even in the workshop either. Kidnapped? It cannot be. Kay clenches his fist so hard his knuckles go white. Who did this? His mind is racing, only picturing Marine in danger. If he loses someone else close to him, his expression turns dark, raw anger taking over. He cannot even bear to think about what they might do to her. But right then, a weird scratching sound makes him look down at the floorboards. A fuzzy black head pops up. Kay blinks Nero. The little beast doesn't even squeak. It just springs straight up into the air. It lands on the table, staring dead at something left behind. Kay leans in closer. There is this weird, custom-made mechanical gauntlet lying right there. It has got all these crazy tiny tubes hooked up to the machine next to it. Kay realizes, wait, is this what she was building for me? He stares at the custom gauntlet. If Nero is pointing right at this thing, there has got to be a clue hidden inside it. Look closely, a bright golden glow starts bleeding out of the arm piece, stretching all the way to a hidden door. It is the exact same energy color as Marine's soul trace. Kay looks at Nero. You tracked her scent here, didn't you? I have got to follow this. Is she even safe right now? He grabs his head, forcing his racing heart to slow down. Focus, Kay, keep your head cool. And leave your emotions behind. No doubt about it, these kidnappers are the same low-life thugs who've been tailing me. Using Marine as bait just to drag me out? Kay clenches his fist so hard his veins literally pop. He grits his teeth, muttering, "You city trash started this with me first. Marine, just hang in there a little bit longer. I'm coming for you right now." Kay rips the tubes off his arm, muttering under his breath, "And I'm definitely putting this to good use." He slips on the special glove, and a thin, dark mist instantly creeps out, turning thick and heavy. Kay flexes his hand, testing the grip. Perfect fit. He can literally feel his power output skyrocketing on the spot. With this gear, even a drawn-out fight won't drain me. Now I totally get why pioneers love this stuff. Turning to his side, he calls out, "Let's move, Nero." The tiny beast leaps onto his shoulder, clinging tight as Kay rushes out. We've got to find Marine. Cutting through a narrow alley, he hits a packed main street, noticing a bunch of sketchy-looking people loitering by the curb. A few of them glare at him with hostile, sketchy eyes, but Kay completely ignores them, heading straight toward a dark, hidden doorway. His thin shadow stretches across the freezing floor. Kay stops, pulls down his hood, and stares straight ahead, tracking the color trail. The path leads deep underground, with another entrance right nearby. Suddenly, everything clicks, and he finally puts the whole picture together. So that's why the streets are crawling with drifters. But check it out, a loud laugh suddenly echoes behind him. Told you, good thing we waited. Kay whips around. He glares at the gang that just showed up. Recognizing Gerard and his regular lackeys, he spits out, "Gerard, you punk." Gerard sneens, "Bet you didn't forget my face, did you? We have some unfinished business to settle." Kay cuts him off coldly. "Where is Marine?" The thug yells back, "Like I'd ever tell you. You think asking nicely works, kid? Better worry about your own skin first. I don't know what dirty trick you pulled last time, but you left me completely bedridden. Do you even know what I went through? I had to crawl all the way up from the absolute bottom of the organization just to get my status back. I only survived by clinging to the sweet hope of absolute revenge. Do you have any idea how long I've been waiting for this exact moment?" He pauses, then shrugs, "Whatever. Master Blang only told us to bring you in, but nobody said you had to be in one piece. This is perfect, I'm paying you back with interest." Gerard yells out his orders. "Get them, boys." The lackeys charge all at once, but Kay just calmly raises his hand. Activating his gear, a massive wave of dark energy pours out, condensing into a deadly jet-black dagger in the blink of an eye. No time. Kay grits his teeth in pure rage. Zero time to waste on rotten trash like you. You don't deserve any mercy. A thug swings a blade right at his head, but Kay easily slips to the side to dodge it. Instantly, he counters with a lightning-fast strike, and his razor-sharp dagger completely tears through the guy's entire right arm. Kay dives straight into the middle of the mob, unleashing a flurry of strikes that leaves anyone blocking his path utterly helpless. Gerard raises his glowing blue staff, screaming, "You absolute psycho! You damn monster!" He then unleashes a massive crushing blow. He tanks it easily. Kay blocks it head-on with both arms, stopping the crushing hit cold. Gerard literally cannot believe his eyes, standing frozen. And, Kay isn't going to waste a second. He launches a brutal counterattack. He lunges forward, grabbing the boss by his throat and slamming him into the back wall, making Gerard's eyes roll back instantly. Kay lets out a cold smirk, a bit different from last time, isn't it? Honestly, I really hate hurting people. But trash, who kidnap innocent people? You get zero mercy. Some of you clowns might end up permanently crippled. never walking again. But hey, you brought this on yourselves. Just be grateful you're still breathing. Clenching his fist, Kay sneers, you actually call yourself a pioneer? Absolutely pathetic. Pulling trashy stunts like this, and still flexing that pioneer title? Clowns like you don't deserve the light's blessing. Hearing this, Gerard panics, screaming for him to stop as Kay lifts him off the ground. The dark mist swirling around them absolutely terrifies the guy. Dragging him over to the edge of the pit, Kay orders, you're coming with me. I need a guide down there anyway. Crouching down, he leaps right into the void, launching forward like a bolt of lightning. Together, they plunge straight down into the massive, pitch-black abyss. Kay's grip on his collar is locked tight, with absolutely zero intention of letting go. Gerard just screams in pure terror as the opening above quickly shrinks into a tiny, distant speck of light high over their heads. Massively strong stone pillars support the underground walls all around them. Kay mutters to himself, I really didn't expect to end up back here. Deep inside the shadowy alleys of this massive underground city, two figures creep forward. Kay shoves Gerard hard from behind, warning him through gritted teeth. Move those legs and don't try anything funny. Terrified, Gerard has no choice but to speed up. Cursing under his breath with sweat dripping down his face, he still tries to look back and threaten your dead meat. You won't survive long after messing with the shadows. Once we mark you, your life is over. Kay doesn't let him ramble any further. Kay instantly gets in close, squeezing his throat until Gerard can only squeeze out a painful groan. With one hand, he effortlessly lifts the guy off his feet, his freezing eyes filled with pure killing intent. You still talk too much. Guess you still don't get what's going on, huh? Shut your mouth and lead the way before I end you. If Morin has even a single scratch, you're dead. Staring at that terrifying power, Gerard is too freaked out to say another word. Once they leave the dark alley, the two of them just keep walking. Everyone around stares with this mix of shock and pure terror. Kay ignores them, walking fast while scanning the crowd, thinking how this trashy place never changes. This underground city is a place where light never shines, completely hidden away like dark secrets under a desk. Because of that, this lawless wasteland naturally turned into the ultimate playground for tons of vicious gangs. So many colorless people are forced to slave away in deep underground mines because that is their only way to survive, just keeping themselves alive. Kay can't help but remember his own past after all. This is the exact spot where he first met Morin, back when two kids in rags huddled together for warmth. Up front, Gerard looks back at Kay, who's totally lost in his thoughts. Gerard grits his teeth, cursing under his breath, stupid bastard. Act smug all you want. My only job is dragging you straight to your grave anyway. What a complete idiot. You are walking straight into your own grave. Soon, the two finally stop in a totally empty, quiet area. The second Kay stops. Gerard turns around with a nasty smirk. Here comes the trap, we're finally here. He sneers, completely changing his tone. Kay goes on high alert. Sure enough, a bunch of heavily tattooed thugs walk out of the shadows, laughing and throwing out nasty threats. Man, waiting for you was so boring. In a flash, hundreds of thugs swarm in from every single direction, completely trapping Kay. The crowd starts whispering and mocking him. Is this kid seriously a black? Talk about a total curse. He looks like a freak. Did he fall into an oil drum? Or what? Suddenly, Marvel walks out slowly, cutting through the loud, messy chatter of the mob. The black kid is actually here. Spotting his ticket to safety, Gerard quickly runs toward him, begging for his boss's protection. I brought him here just like you wanted, boss, he gasps, desperately trying to take credit. But unlike the excited Gerard, Marvel stays absolutely freezing cold. His eyes are full of disgust as he frowns. Did you lose your color again? I told you those colorless trash are completely useless. Shaking with fear from his boss's anger, Gerard stammers out an apology. I am so sorry. But it couldn't be helped. Cutting off Gerard's excuses, Marvel suddenly swings his blade to end him right there. Your chance is gone. You are done. Since you are useless, this is where it ends. The blade slashes like lightning, making Gerard's body crash onto the cold ground. Watching this brutal bloodbath right in front of him, K doesn't even flinch. He just watches the red pool slowly spread under his boots, quietly thinking about something, while Marvel's icy voice keeps ringing in his ears, complaining about wasting his precious time on useless trash. K finally speaks up in a calm, quiet tone. You guys never change, do you? Now that I'm here, tell me where Morin is. Marvel sneers back, you still don't get it, do you? Do you even know who runs things around here? That is why you should have thought twice before coming, you smug little brat. You will never find that girl. Sure, she is just colorless garbage, but she is still useful. Who knows what terrible things we'll do to her? His nasty, filthy laughter echoes, instantly snapping the very last thread of Kay's sanity. Suddenly, a dark, heavy shadow wraps around him. His eyes glare right through them, cold and blank. That is right, I just need to destroy absolutely everything here. Suddenly, he starts gathering power. Dark, menacing energy pools in his right hand. Tensing his entire body into a battle stance, he slowly twists around. Look at that. A massive, pitch-black monster erupts straight from his right arm. Marvel's eyes go wide as he screams, "What on earth is that?" Without giving him a second to breathe, Kay stomps the ground and launches upward, sending rocks flying everywhere like an eagle swooping down on its prey. He slams straight down where Marvel is standing. The terrifying impact instantly blows the surrounding crowd away like leaves in a storm. Even the stone tiles on the street shatter from the shockwave. Meanwhile, in another part of the base, James sits alone, thinking. Lost in his thoughts, a sudden loud scream cuts him off. Manager James! He quickly turns his head toward the heavy door. Looking at the terrified thug who just kicked the door open, he asks what is wrong. The guy gasps, "It is total chaos. That black kid is going absolutely wild. You need to go outside and see this." Hearing that, James's face instantly turns dark. Outside, Marvel has completely lost his initial arrogant attitude. His hair is a complete mess. Clothes torn. He just screams, "Stop him! Stop him now! I told you idiots to stop him." His thugs keep rushing forward, trying to hold Kay back even as he beats their teeth out. None of them dare to run, desperate to hold out until backup arrives. Soon, hundreds of guys join the chaotic fight, yet one by one, Kay's brutal fists send them flying yards away. Witnessing this insane strength, Marvel's face turns completely pale. Is this kid a monster? Right then, James's deep voice cuts through the heavy, tense silence. What is going on here? What the hell are you doing? Seeing his backup arrive, Marvel lets out a relieved laugh like he has already won the fight. You are finally here, boss. James frowns. I was wondering why it was so loud. You cannot even handle one stupid black kid? He glares coldly at the thugs groaning on the floor under Kay's feet, treating them like worthless ants. The Shadow Gang's reputation is ruined. We are supposed to rule the underworld, but you are all completely useless. Facing this new threat, Kay stays totally calm and collected, but internally, things are already getting wild. This dude is actually insanely strong, proving Kay's hunch was right as James's muscles start bulging out like crazy, making the ground shake. Marvel laughs his ass off, pointing at Kay to trash-talk him that he is totally dead since James is a pioneer. No matter how strong you are, you stand zero chance against a real warrior. You should have listened when I was playing nice, but now it is way too late. James stretches and cracks his neck before suddenly blasting forward like a rocket, leaving nothing but an afterimage and a fist packed with completely godlike power. The punch slams right by Kay's feet, shattering the ground and sending rocks flying, but Kay just calmly slips to the side to dodge it. At the same time, he counters with a dozen lightning-fast punches straight to James's chest, but absolutely nothing happens. Shockingly, the guy does not even flinch. Instead, he smirks and mocks Kay, asking if he thinks he is hot stuff, which actually catches Kay off guard. That is when James puts his entire weight into a massive punch, yelling out that it is his turn now. Facing this absolute beast of a man lunging at him, Kay cannot react in time and takes the devastating blow head-on. He gets sent flying hundreds of meters, slamming hard into a distant wall. As the dust clears, Kay finally emerges, looking a bit beat up. Kneeling on one knee with his arms crossed to guard his vitals, his expression remains completely blank, even after taking such a heavy hit. Giving him no time to breathe, James charges right back in for another punch, but K is ready for it this time. He quickly ducks the strike, reaching out to activate his dangerous color-draining skill as his hand touches James's waist, freezing the big guy instantly. Having no clue what just happened, James's eyes widen as he wonders what is going on since it feels like something is being ripped out of him. But in a split second, James starts gathering his power, letting out a wild roar before aggressively throwing K far away from him. Under K's shocked gaze, James coldly asks who he thinks he is fighting, as rocks and debris rapidly gather around his body, forming a massive set of stone armor. He warns K to stop playing cheap tricks because he is about to fight for real. Now James has fully transformed into a giant stone monster who easily swats away anyone nearby, warning that he cannot control his power since he hasn't used this color in forever. Standing before this massive giant, K looks absolutely tiny. His face darkens and his eyes turn cold as he whispers to himself that this is not enough. His current style just won't cut it. He needs to be way more efficient and find a dangerous weapon that can actually pierce this monster. Clenching his fists, a dark, creepy power starts radiating from K's body, slowly wrapping around James. James stares at this bizarre energy, completely stunned. Get ready, because here is where the real madness begins. James wonders if this is the power of black. As a dark path suddenly opens up, it is filled with sharp, deadly swords, with K standing quietly in the very center, calmly observing the entire terrifying scene. It is enough to give anyone goosebumps. Even from a distance, the shock waves of this fight are sending clouds of dust billowing into the sky. Gripping two sharp swords, K flies forward like a raging hurricane, relentlessly closing the distance between them, making James break into a cold sweat as he curses under his breath about how annoying this freaky ability is. James ducks low, trying his best to guard his body against hundreds of relentless, sudden slashes. K snatches a nearby sword, yanking it up before spinning around to swing his blade, giving James absolutely no time to react. The heavy downward strike shatters the rock armor, sending debris flying everywhere as he refuses to let James even catch his breath. K immediately grabs a nearby battle axe, looking like a literal god of death crawling out of hell, coldly charging forward before leaping high into the air, delivering a brutal, fatal strike straight to the giant's chest. K unleashes a relentless barrage of attacks, completely overwhelming James. James can only awkwardly dodge, as his once indestructible stone armor has now become a massive burden, trapping him inside. With only his head exposed, K immediately targets this clear weakness, frustrating James, who realizes this kid is only aiming for his face. In a flash, the weapon in K's hands morphs into two short, razor-sharp daggers, and he starts slicing away relentlessly, tearing apart James's crumbling defense. Watching his stone armor fall apart, James cannot believe his eyes as K easily shreds his hardened skin. Although his armor seems easy to break, each hit feels dangerously like a vacuum. James quickly pulls the fallen stones back to rebuild his defense. He grits his teeth in pure frustration, cursing that he is the manager of darkness and cannot possibly lose to some random kid. He furiously charges at K, roaring that he does not care what Blank said anymore. This actually causes a flicker of surprise in K's eyes. Shouting for him to die, James's face twists in rage, veins popping as he unleashes his devastating ultimate move, Destruction Corner. The catastrophic impact behaves like a wild tornado, blowing everything away and slamming K's body with sheer force. He gets blasted straight through the sturdiest concrete buildings. Meanwhile, James moves so fast he turns into a destructive beam of light. Now watch closely, this is the exact moment everything changes. James brutally stomps on K's body, but then, his eyes widen in complete and utter terror. Unbelievably, despite taking the full force of that massive attack, K's body does not have a single scratch, leaving James completely stunned. Gasping in disbelief, James wonders how he blocked it. K only responds with a dead, icy stare as he begins channeling power into his palm. The rock armor covering James's body slowly begins to dissolve, getting sucked away as he screams in terror, wondering why his colors are disappearing. Staring at the bizarre scene, James breaks into a cold sweat. How is this kid not only spawning weapons but pulling this crazy stunt too? How many cheat codes does this guy have? But who cares if K only needs one strike? James won't even get to throw his next move. Darkness. Total darkness. Suddenly, his vision goes pitch black, and James clutches his face in pure panic. What is this? I can't see. Kay's dark energy has already eaten through James's eye. Watch this while he's losing his mind. Kay dashes in and lands a massive, crushing uppercut. The hit leaves James totally dizzy, and he drops to his knees. Groaning in absolute agony. All that arrogant, tough guy attitude is completely gone. He's fading. His mind spins as his strength drains away. Is he really dying right here, just because his opponent's color is black? Only black mist answers him, relentlessly eating away at his wounds as he realizes that this crazy kid is using black energy like pure poison. Kay just stares down at him like he's already a dead body. He coldly retorts, so what? Why should I fight fair? Instantly, Kay grabs James by the throat, telling him he won't be resisting while getting absorbed. In a flash, that energetic body shrivels up, dead. James is just a dry corpse now. Watching his protector get destroyed, Marvel shakes all over, completely frozen with fear. He can't believe his eyes, whispering in shock that the manager got beaten by this literal monster. Meanwhile, thick dark energy rolls off Kay's body. His eyes glow like a fierce beast. Under Kay's feet lies the dried-up, pale corpse of James. The dude was drained completely dry. Watching Kay casually devour his opponent, Marvel just cowers in the distance, too terrified to take a step. He's terrified of becoming the next victim. Realizing there's still one loose end left, Kay tilts his head and locks his cold glare onto Marvel, target locked. Meanwhile, in a completely different place, Marine slowly opens her eyes, though her vision is still a total blur. Waking up in a complete daze, she groans softly as she realizes she is tied to a wooden chair, rubbing her incredibly painful, throbbing temples. As the dizziness slowly fades, she finally notices the creepy, dark, and completely unfamiliar room she has been trapped in. She wonders where on earth she is, when suddenly a voice interrupts her thoughts, casually asking if she's finally awake and waiting for her. Startled, she spins her head toward the mysterious figure walking up to her and asks who he is. But the shadow completely ignores her. He just mutters to himself while holding a file on Kay, remarking how amusing it is that a colorless nobody gets so much attention. A late-blooming color is super rare, but what's with Kay's expressions? It's almost like he actually has real human emotions or something. Hearing him say the Kay he knows isn't human, Marine's brain sparks. That voice sounds way too familiar, pulling up some ancient, buried memories. Blank? That name flashes in her head and she instinctively blurts it out. Hearing it, the man just lets out a creepy smirk. He praises her excellent memory, saying he knew she wouldn't forget him, before greeting her as if they were just old friends catching up. Marine ignores his creepy, friendly act, demanding to know how he is even alive because she thought he died back then. Blank jokes about almost dying, thinking he'd get crushed when everything collapsed. He casually acts like surviving that nightmare was just pure luck, a crazy reunion. He casually asks if she remembers the old days, because he still remembers absolutely everything about their painful past. He calls them his very first special lab rats. Hearing those chilling words, a cold sweat breaks out all over Marine's body. Blank keeps up that fake, gentle smile, bragging that although he barely made it out alive, he's successful now and even got recognized by the boss. He's a director of darkness now. He tells her to step closer, wanting to show off how much his twisted research has progressed. With a smug smile, he drags her into a secret room filled with massive tanks, where poor test subjects float like science experiments. A long line of bound people waits to be next, while terrified children can only cover their faces and sob in pure horror. Their futures are buried in this dark basement. You seeing this horror show? Hundreds of hybrid monsters roar behind iron cages, bearing sharp teeth. Pure hell. Marine stares at this living nightmare, completely unable to believe that such a horrifying facility is actually real. Just then, Blank's assistant rolls in a cart loaded with test tubes, announcing these are the very last extracts they needed. Blank gets all hyped up, saying it's perfect timing and he can't wait to see how this batch turns out. Marine demands to know if he's doing that awful experiment again. Blank doesn't even turn around, just calmly saying obviously he is. He says wasting something this amazing would be a crime. Slowly swirling a vial with a totally crazed, psycho look in his eyes. Wearing his usual creepy smile, he welcomes Marine back to his brand new extraction system. The absolute madness is unreal. Boom! A massive explosion suddenly rips through the busy streets, sending smoke everywhere and throwing the crowds into total chaos. People scream and shove each other to get away. A middle-aged man runs for his life, looking back in absolute panic. He yells that those damn thugs are causing trouble again, urging everyone to run before they get caught up in the madness. Out of the thick smoke and rubble, Kay slowly steps forward, his face completely expressionless and cold as ice. He's dragging two knocked-out thugs by their collars. Reaching an empty space, Kay drops the two troublemakers onto the freezing ground. His gaze is so dead and empty it sends chills down your spine. Then, Kay walks forward and stops right before a pitch-black tunnel. Heading deep underground, Kay tilts his head toward the guy walking next to him and asks in a pretty cold voice if he is absolutely sure. Is Marine really trapped in this place? Maver shakes like a leaf and stutters out that yes, the girl he is looking for is probably somewhere inside. The dude cowers, begging to just let him go since he did everything right. But Kay does not even bother answering and instantly throws a massive, devastating punch. He smashes Maver right in the face, sending him crashing down. Right after that, Kay calls out for Nero, who quickly pops out from his collar. Once Nero appears, Kay orders him to lead the way to Marine. His cold expression softens into a friendly smile as he asks another quick question. You can totally do that, right? Nero circles around in the air to guide him, and Kay watches him while whispering a quick thanks. You are always such a massive help. Right then, heavy footsteps suddenly echo down from the stairs as a guard spots him and immediately points him out. He screams out that he is right over there, telling everyone to get over here and grab him. A pack of brutal guards carrying heavy weapons quickly swarm down the stairs. They yell at everyone to rush him at once. Facing the angry mob, Kay just casually charges dark energy right into his arm. He coldly mutters that he does not have time to waste on weak trash like them, especially since any more delay is bad. Marine is going to end up in serious danger. Suddenly, a mutated guard with a massive stone arm charges straight at him with supreme confidence. Seeing this, Kay smirked and said that is perfect, because he just prepped the exact move to crush him. Kay does not back down. His fist, wrapped in dark energy, instantly swells up with insane power as he clashes head-on with the enemy. I will blast straight through everything. The moment his fist connects, a massive shockwave erupts, completely wiping out every single obstacle in his way. Now check this out, he calls this insane move the destruction punch, and it literally blows the whole guard squad away. They panic and scream that this is impossible, yelling to stop that crazy guy. One guard who got blasted far away desperately tries to scream for someone to stop this absolute monster. Meanwhile, Kay just casually walks right past the entire pile of defeated, groaning bodies. His cold gaze does not even flicker. Deep inside the facility, in a secret lab, Lang is chilling, whistling while organizing colorful test tubes. Standing nearby, Marine is completely furious and screams that he is a total psychopath, her whole body shaking with rage as she demands answers. What the hell is actually wrong with you? She storms forward, unable to hold back her anger, asking why he keeps doing this. Why does he keep pulling these sick, twisted stunts? Hearing her behind him, Lang slowly turns his head and lazily mutters a soft hum. He turns to face her with a smug, cocky grin, asking what is wrong and why she looks so totally pissed off. There is really no need to try and threaten him like that. Completely ignoring her obvious rage, he calmly adds that he is actually super grateful to them. Since they made such perfect test subjects, his research has taken an absolutely massive leap forward. Saying that, Lang gestures toward a giant extraction machine running nearby, telling her to just turn around and look over in that direction. The extraction process is going down right now. He laughs smugly, saying seeing it in person is always way better than some boring explanation, right? Right in front of the machine, a poor victim is about to get dragged inside, begging them to stop because he does not want to die yet. Two masked guards beat the poor man without a shred of mercy, yelling at him to shut up. Get inside right now. The terrified man screams in pain, begging them to stop as he desperately clings to the door of the extraction chamber. He refuses to let go, crying that he does not want to go in and begging for mercy. but they ruthlessly drag him inside anyway. He keeps sobbing and crying for help, but the heavy metal door of the extractor slams shut, completely locking him away from the world. The machine immediately roars to life, shaking violently and blasting thick white steam through a series of clear glass pipes. A bright red, blood-like liquid starts draining from the victim, and this newly extracted energy flows rapidly through the piping system. It finally pools into a small glass jar in the middle of the cold, brightly lit lab, while assistants calmly take notes. They just carry on with their cruel work like it is completely normal. Marine watches this horrifying scene unfold, frozen in absolute shock. Pure rage boils inside her. This place has not changed one bit. It is still just as dark and terrifying as she remembers. Lang picks up a test tube filled with glowing, golden liquid, practically beaming with pride as he shows it off. Check this out, just look at how beautiful this color is. We finally have the power to do this. We can extract shades this pure and bright. He glances over at a pile of empty test tubes discarded in the corner. He sighs with regret, saying his first trials were way too sloppy, so they could not extract any bright colors at all. He totally wasted all those test subjects taken from her group. The more he talks, the more obsessed he gets with his work. Remember when he talked about people who awaken their powers late? He saw some serious, hidden potential in those late bloomers, so he wondered what would happen if he just extracted all that latent sleeping energy from them. And honestly, the results are wild. Lang excitedly points to rows of iron cages holding some seriously creepy creatures, along with chained-up townspeople. He brags that they are not just using humans, because they can extract it from monsters too. Talk about next level. Who would have guessed that literal trash could turn into something so incredibly bright and beautiful? It is honestly mind-blowing. Lang cradles the glowing test tube like it is some priceless treasure, whispering that this liquid is the absolute soul and core of those people. He claims he has every right to use it however he wants, acting like he is doing a good deed by unlocking their hidden value. By forcing it to shine as bright as possible, he boasts about his extraction method and years of tireless research. Finally, his sick work has paid off, and the glowing purple goo you see right now is the ultimate result of his experiments. This glowing purple potion is what he calls a hybrid seed, and he is totally mesmerized by the swirling light. Still rambling on, he talks about finding other bizarre uses for it, completely lost in his own twisted and dark little world. Monsters that emit signals are apparently drawn to these weird colors, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. Even if his control over them isn't totally perfect, it still works. Hearing this, Marine snaps, unable to take any more. Cutting him off completely, she calls him and his crew a bunch of sick, crazy psychopaths who have lost their minds. With a completely straight face, he says these disgusting things. She looks at the extraction machine and yells in horror, "Are you seriously kidnapping, living, breathing people just to throw them into that freaky machine?" She glares right at him with deep hatred. Guards are everywhere, but check this out, Marine doesn't back down, screaming that the city government will punish him. Hearing her angry words, Lang just smirks with this creepy, wicked grin, casually saying he fully expected her to react so dramatically. Gently pushing up his glasses, his chuckle turns into a crazy, loud laugh as he claims nothing is wrong with his actions. He proudly spreads his arms wide, wanting to show off his insane laboratory achievements like a proud scientist. His work is apparently way too advanced for this era, meaning simple people like her just can't comprehend it. Calling it a massive pity, he makes Marine point right at his face, yelling for him to shut his filthy, murderous mouth. Mocking him with deep disgust, she laughs at his talk about souls and essence, calling it absolute trash. If you seriously love draining colors so much, why not extract it from your own dead body first? Your color would definitely be filthy, disgusting, and insane. Suddenly, his smug little smile completely vanishes as he drops his friendly act. The whole room instantly turns dead cold. Staring at her with icy eyes, Lang slowly turns around and asks if she really thinks that about him. His voice gets quiet and sharp, claiming he knows his own color better than anyone. Marine is completely shocked. "What did you say?" Marine gasps, but Lang calmly answers that he regularly extracts energy from his own flesh. Stroking his own arm proudly, the crazy scientist asks why he wouldn't test his own masterpiece on himself first. This massive research is his entire life work, and with that, he slowly starts pulling off his tight glove.